Lisi. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting the Celtics hiring Sam Cassell as an assistant coach on Joe Mazzulla's staff. Celtics president Brad Stevens said last week he wanted to hire a veteran assistant to that staff. Cassell has been an assistant on Doc Rivers' staff with the 76ers and the Clippers. Nuggets looking to regroup after the Game 2 loss in the NBA Finals to the Heat. Denver last night, lack of discipline, poor defensive effort in the fourth quarter, wasted a 41-point performance from Nikola Jokic. Nuggets and Heat tied 1-1 with the finals on to Miami for Game 3. ESPN NBA analyst Kirk Goldsberry.
The Nuggets need more from Michael Porter Jr. They need more from Jamal Murray. And if they lose this series, ultimately it's going to be a letdown from players not named Nikola Jokic. I think he's been fantastic in almost every playoff game.
Kirk Goldsberry on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Michael Vick, Larry Fitzgerald, Terrell Suggs among the former players on the 2024 College Football Hall of Fame ballot. The Ducks hired veteran NHL assistant and AHL head coach Greg Conan as their new coach. Coco Gauff, straight sets win today, on to a third straight French Open quarterfinals.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Green, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy, a brand new week here in the Ingles studio. You're listening on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. And, of course, the Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat and you can say, welcome into the program for Intern Jake.
We have, now there's not two of us, there's three. There's still two morons. But then there's one bright kid that one day will usurp us and steal the show from us.
Well, I mean, we don't know if he's, we will let the house decide the level of idiocy that comes from the third chair here. Intern Jake, welcome into the program, sir. It's glad to have you.
Well, I really appreciate it, man. And I got two things you guys need to know about me. First off, I just came back from Ireland, so I have the gift of the gab. And second, I'm an Indiana sports fan, so I'm used to being disappointed.
Indiana sports fan.
Well, I mean, that's actually a stalwart of the show. You can't pull for a team that's any good, much like my disappointing 2023 letdown Denver Nuggets.
How's that government drone taste?
Oh, good Lord. I'm already tired of this.
And the Nuggets will never lose in Denver.
I don't think they lose another game. Did it change anything about your perception?
No.
They were awful. Genuinely god-awful. And you had a shot to tie it as time expired.
On a bad night, the Miami Heat can win a game in this series. Obviously, they've already done it. The series is 1-1.
Well, I have an update to Jeremy's hubris with his 2023. Man, I need them to win this series, Denver Nuggets.
Uh-huh.
So if you've listened to this show for any period of time, you know that Jeremy is a big fan of the domestic light.
Yes.
Well, during game one, apparently, I had one or two of those, and I made a wager with HWA because she is a Miami Heat fan.
Okay. Weird. I've never heard that before. How did that happen?
Well, she's from Florida, she loved LeBron until he went to L.A., and she all of a sudden hated LeBron, and she just kind of stuck with Miami. So,
Interesting. Okay.
Doesn't come up very often except for when it can make me angry, which this is one of those times. So apparently, in the midst of my domestic lighting, I wagered part of my hair against the Heat.
Oh, hold the phone, folks. This might be able to change my allegiances. What's on the line here?
Well, what I said was that Miami could not win 2 games in this series.
Okay.
It's going to be a gentleman's sweep. They'll get one in Miami, and anything above that, I lose. And now, I'm legit scared because I may have to eradicate some of the Maine.
Some of it.
I didn't wager all of it.
Okay.
I just said I would redact it.
Yes. I'm all for this. Let's go Heat.
So
come on.
I didn't remember doing it. And then I had 3 other people that said, not only did you wager it, you were very boisterous about the wager.
Of course you were.
Which means no shot this is allowed to die on the vine.
I love it.
So,
let's go Heat.
So I need Himola Jokic and Jamal Murray to, if we could, I need more at game 1 and way less at game 2.
Yeah, last night did not go your way. Miami's, fourth quarter spurred by Duncan Robinson.
Oh, good Lord.
Look, it's great. Miami got a game.
Mm-hmm.
But is it repeatable? The question is, can you do this for another 3 games? And I don't think there's any way that you can. You can't expect Denver to be that bad again. It's a very well-coached team. Yeah.
I don't think I don't think Michael Porter Jr. goes for 5 again.
Mm-hmm.
That's not much.
Right.
Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, genuinely awful.
Right. No one was shooting the ball well. It was the first game in this postseason where Nikola Jokic had more turnovers than he did assists. He had 5 turnovers and 4 assists in the game.
The thing that would scare me if I was a Heat fan is the bench absolutely dog-walked you. And that has been that's really been the kryptonite for Denver, is not that you would really get one over on the bench, but that they couldn't really do anything to you. That everything just stayed copacetic, and if you could beat the starters, then you could beat Denver.
Mm-hmm.
That would worry me. And I'm looking at Duncan Robinson. I mean, he had 10, so let's calm down on Caleb Martin. Wasn't good. He's been good throughout this series. It just didn't really change anything for me.
Well, I mean, I looked at it and saw, Miami shot 50% from three-point range. That's not going to happen again.
I mean, the 48.6, that's a little high.
Mm-hmm.
What I saw was they came in with a completely different game plan that caught Mike Malone off guard. And then he goes into the press conference and blames the effort. Can we stop with the 110% thing? Like, that's not real. That we didn't give the effort. It's an NBA Finals game. Yeah, you did. Okay? You got out-coached by Eric Spoelstra, who, trust me, I have things to say about later in this program. But they used the Kevin Love thing to extend Aaron Gordon, which allowed them to get to the basket more freely, which is why they shot 20 free throws in this game as opposed to 2 in game 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly the hardest thing to beat or to figure out. So, I mean, and I feel like Denver figured it out in the fourth quarter, which is why this was a game. They figured it out late.
Yep.
And I really didn't walk away from this feeling any different. Yeah, Miami got a game in Denver. Good for you. Guess what? Denver's still a 3.5-point favorite in game 3.
Mm-hmm.
That should tell you about everything you need to know.
Denver, the overwhelming favorite in the series, have been since the beginning. It wasn't a sweep. Good for Miami.
Yay!
Now
that means this series might actually get to 6 games.
The question is, how competitive can you make this series, and can Miami hold Denver off at home and give us all what we've been craving? That is a manicured mullet.
Oh, well, I don't think anybody's been craving that. It's
100% we have.
No.
We all talk behind your back.
I just really think it's crazy that Denver played this bad and still only lost by 3 points.
That was my biggest takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest takeaway. You were awful for 10 minutes in the fourth quarter. You still had a shot to win this game. And if the end play hadn't been, I'll say, lacking in some creativity, then this could have gone to overtime. If it goes to overtime, Denver goes out 2-0, and we're still talking about the series the same way we were. Oh, look at the valiant effort Miami gave, and they still lost. It doesn't change much for me. Now, you go down to Miami and lose 2, that's a problem. So if you're Denver, who, by the way, is not very good on the road, you're going to have to get one of these games in Miami to take home court back.
Mm-hmm. Jason Trump wants to know how much of it was the Heat making it a bad night for the Denver Nuggets.
That's part of it. And Eric Spoelstra got really touchy when Ramona Shelburne said that they were letting Nikola Jokic get whatever he wanted. That's not what Jokic does. That's been a dirty little secret around the NBA forever. You're not going to stop him from scoring. He doesn't always want to score. And I'll be honest with you, Jokic scores 41 points, usually not a good night for Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Because that means everybody else has let him down, and he gets to this point, much like he did in the third quarter, where he went, okay, I've got to score now. None of the rest of you are doing it. I'll do it. I don't necessarily think that's a path to this is how we're going to win the series. You've got the best player in the NBA, and you're just going to let him get whatever he wants. No, I don't think that's a solution.
Andreas Pinkney wants to know why Mike Malone didn't call the timeout at the end of the game, right before the last possession.
Honestly, because it's a vet team that's played together for a really long time, and you've got a bunch of Max Struss, Gabe Vincent guys that I don't want to give you the opportunity to set up what it is you're going to do off the inbound. I trust my guys. That's one of those things that we do. We did this with Roy Williams for years.
Absolutely.
Because Roy never liked calling the timeout. I trust my guys. I instill the game plan in my guys. My guys on the floor, I don't want to give you the chance to talk to yours.
Exactly.
Because I feel like I have coached my team better than you have coached your team. So this is an advantage that I don't want to give back to you. I get it. I don't always agree. I think there are times we overthink timeouts. Okay, what really are you going to do in that timeout that's going to change everything? You knew the play. I mean, was anybody shocked at who the point man was? Was anybody shocked at who the trigger man was? Nope. So, I mean, for me, it's fine. I think Michael Malone's a really good coach. I didn't love everything he said, but I'm not shocked he said it. Calling his team out in the post game that the defense was not good. It wasn't. And it was really just an adjustment from Spoelstra that I don't think they were ready for. Kevin Love played as many minutes in game one as I did. He comes out in game two, and that changes things because you have to defend this team differently. Because now you've got that big guy away from the basket the same way that Denver does. You have to be able to kill that on the offensive side, and you look at Aaron Gordon, who went from what we saw in game one, which was really good, to Orlando Magic Aaron Gordon. There's a reason they were willing to give up on him, and it's because he does have games like that from time to time. But you saddle up, what do we play, Wednesday? Another 3-night layoff, which is dumb. And it's fine. There's been a lot of gnashing of teeth. Oh, Reggie Miller's got Miami in 6. Well, that's dumb. And I'm not telling you it won't happen. It could happen. Saying it after game 2 is stupid. You are doing that thing of you want people like us to talk about, oh, spicy Reggie Miller. No, if you're looking at this series going, Denver's not the favorite, you're falling victim to the most recent thing you've seen. Mm-hmm. And there's really no other way to see that.
Miami's a fun story.
Miami's a good team.
Miami, absolutely. But again, I think it's more a fun story. Because the question that I have is, can Jimmy Butler be the best player on a championship team? And I don't necessarily think that's true.
I think you're worrying about things that don't matter. And you're diminishing Miami to me. This Miami team's good. You got here. I don't care who you beat. I don't care that the East is weaker and all these stupid narratives I've heard. You got through 3 7-game series to get here. Mm-hmm. You deserve to be here. Mm-hmm. You are the best team in the Eastern Conference this year.
Agreed.
You fought your way to it. Jimmy Butler, the best player on the team? Whatever.
Can
he be the best? Yeah, he can.
Think so? Okay.
Well, I mean, you got here. So you're 7 games away from doing it. I still, everything that I thought going into game 2, I still believe. You still have matchup issues. Denver didn't take advantage of it in game 2. Now I know what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. Now I know you're walking into this thinking that you're going to pull one of the bigs away from the basket with Kevin Love. Because the Caleb Martin, Jimmy Butler thing didn't work. Martin needs to come off the bench and be a scorer off the bench. That still leaves you with Kevin Love on the floor. So how do I mitigate that? Well, it ain't that hard. I'm going to find a way to make you switch him on Nikola Jokic, and he will beat him like a kettle drum. Why he didn't figure that out in Game 2, I have no idea. But for every move, the final series like this, 7-game series like this, are like chess matches. You're not beating me with one move. It's how I react to your move that's how you can beat me. Mm-hmm. And now Michael Malone needs to show why he's the 4th longest tenured coach in this league, because he's very good at this. And I think they will. And I'll be honest with you, I think they take Game 3 probably convincingly.
Wednesday night, Game 3 down in Miami. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Will Jeremy have to eat another government surveillance drone on Wednesday? We'll just have to wait and see. And more importantly, if it does happen, is it immediate? Do you have to then be shuttled off immediately after the win to go get the haircut?
No, because I'm very picky about who touches my hair. I'm very touchy about who I let have sharp objects near my head. So whenever it can be facilitated is when it will be facilitated.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
At Ingles, we are proud to introduce our all-new curbside service. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app to order, and our friendly staff will bring your groceries right to your car and have you ready to go in no time. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If your pubic region was quote-unquote junk, you wouldn't need America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. But it's not. So show some respect with Gillette Intimate for a gentle and easy shave. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
In this week's Marketers Report, Patrizio Spagnoletto, Global Chief Marketing Officer, Direct-to-Consumer for Warner Brothers Discovery, weighs in on building trust.
Trust is a really hard thing to build and a really easy thing to destroy, and we have to be very respectful about that. Our partnership with iHeart has really helped us build that trust and that relationship with the on-air talent.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
The year is almost half over, and you are still dealing with that knee or hip pain. Enough is enough. Pills are not the answer. Surgery is not the answer. You need to call QC Kinetics today. The advanced regenerative medicine solutions at QC Kinetics can give you a life without chronic joint pain. You can do all those summer activities you used to enjoy. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in taking healing properties from your own body and applying them right into your achy joint, so your joint tissue can be repaired and restored naturally. This treatment is truly revolutionary. Patients across America are having life-changing results, and there's no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. If you have pain in your knees, back, shoulders, hips, you need to stop what you are doing and call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can give you your life back. Call 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville. That's 828-333-9517.
Your home is the place where you know your loved ones are secure. But the things that keep your home protected can't keep pests at bay. That's where RAID comes in. For 60 years, RAID scientists have worked to protect people around the world. With trusted research, ingredients, testing standards, and product efficacy, RAID seeks to create a better future for all, especially the ones you love most. RAID, protection for all.
The Sportsocracy.
Gets the rebound, passes it to the man, shoots it,
and boom goes the dynamite.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Yes, the NBA Finals are now tied. One game apiece going to Miami.
But no
on
game
Wednesday.
tonight.
No.
So bangers at the end of the hour. We had to get a little cute, okay, with a little Stanley Cup banger. Their words I never thought I was going to say out loud. Next week, start with some Major League Baseball. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
We just can one of you subsidiary football leagues not be awful?
It's not possible.
Diamondbacks and the A's out there. Diamondback bullpen is really good. I'll do it. I will do it. I won't watch it, but I will wager it.
He will wager it because he will wager anything.
I have a cricket guy. That's all you need to know.
Indeed. So you called up your hockey guy, and you got some tips for tonight's game.
Well, that was a formidable way of saying armchair, but you know. We have a lot of Canadians that listen to this show. Trust me, getting hockey information was not that hard. Plus, 97% of the money is on one side of this, which means I'll give you one guess which way I went. Public goes right. Jeremy goes any other direction.
All right, that's coming up at the end of the hour. Miami Heat win Game 2 of the NBA Finals, 111-108 against the Denver Nuggets. Go ahead. I know you want to. I know you're itching to do it.
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm still angry from last night.
Because he took a loss and now he's licking his wound.
I'm still angry from last night, but it's okay. I think I think I'm going to feel better in just a few days because I don't envision Gabe Vincent being, I don't know, the best point guard in the NBA for 48 minutes. I have no clue how that happened, but he was. Miami does a better job of getting role minutes out of nobodies than anybody I've ever seen.
Which is why they're such a good team. Which is why they're such a surprising team to everybody. I mean, we know that this is a decent team when they're regular season. But they kick it in that extra notch when it comes to playoff time. They've done it now, 3 out of the last 4 years, 3 out of the last 5 years, whatever, getting to the finals when we didn't even think they were going to get out of the first round. Now they've set an NBA record for the most wins by an 8 seed in one NBA playoffs. They're looking to make history here. I just don't know that they have it in them. I don't know that, like I said in the last segment, if this is a repeatable thing.
Well, Nathaniel McQuirt, who's in our YouTube chat and is a fellow fan of the 2023 NBA champion Denver Nuggets. Let's go! I was upset for a minute, but I'm getting it. I'm getting back.
And he's back.
And I'm back. Said that the way to beat Denver is to let Jokic get his, go for 40 plus. It's happened 3 times in these playoffs. They've lost all 3 times. And my answer to that would be, and what happened in the following game? Because I'll go ahead and tell you, Jokic averaged 14.5 assists in the next game after those 3 losses. And I don't see a path that's not going to happen here. Because I'm looking around just going, if you allow Michael Porter and Jamal Murray to shoot as many open jumpers as they have in the first 2 games, it's going to burn you at some point. Game 1, they set a record for the most missed open three-pointers in the modern finals era. That was shrunk down in Game 2. It wasn't as many open. It was more contested threes. But this team can still shoot. This team is still a really good shooting team. And I look at Miami and go, you have so many players like Duncan Robinson that you're still not a good defender. You're just not. You haven't been your entire career. If it wasn't for Tyler Hero, by the way, I think that actually hurts them, not helps them.
Really?
I keep hearing that Tyler Hero could come back in Game 3. Please, God, do. Please do. That keeps Gabe Vincent off the floor for a few extra minutes. I would much rather see Tyler Hero than Gabe Vincent. Or Max Struss. More things I didn't think I was ever going to say.
I believe that would eat more into Max, don't you think? When they leave Gabe on the floor?
I don't know because I don't know
that you can have so good.
I don't know that you can have those 2 on the floor at the same time.
Okay.
I have a lot of the same problem with Tyler Hero that I have with Duncan Robinson. Oh, you're a great shooter. You also couldn't defend the chair I'm sitting in. So, you want to run up 17 minutes with Duncan Robinson, it's going to burn you eventually.
Mm-hmm. So what is repeatable?
Of what they did last night?
Of what they did last night.
I do think you can fixate on keeping Jokic from being the distributor. But the more you pull Bam Adebayo away from the basket, eventually that's going to burn you too, because you don't have any other big guys. That's the mismatch I saw in this the whole time. And I understand you're getting a few quality minutes from Highsmith, a few quality minutes from Cody Zeller, and I'm using quality super liberally. Those two played 14 minutes combined. The Heat was minus 31 in those 14 minutes. And that's another part of this, is that I'm looking at the discrepancy between the starters and the bench going, okay, these 29-minute nights from Max Struss, those are done. Because every time you put those backups out there, that one little run from Duncan Robinson notwithstanding, you're getting run off the floor. So what happens in a 7-game series? Yes, it's beneficial that you're getting an extra day off between these games. It's one of the reasons I hate it, is because you're taking what should be an advantage from Denver away because you add that extra game. Because, well, we have to stretch this out because it's the only time any of you even kind of care. Take your 2 weeks and go somewhere.
I think the biggest thing is
Hang on.
I think the biggest thing is, like, the Heat right now are number 1 in the playoffs shooting the three. And that is what definitely led into this run right here. And they were 27th in the season.
And that's the thing, is that you live by the three, you die by the three. And with Miami, when they are hitting from the outside, we talked about this going into the conference final. You had 4 completely different teams here. They were all good shooting the three in a way. Denver was really efficient. Well, they haven't been for the first couple games of this series. They've hit, 19 total in 2 games? Mm-hmm. Even for them, who were without a doubt the least attempts of the 4 teams left. That's even low for them. And so you catch that with really good shooting from Miami. These things are not replicable. Unless you're the Golden State Warriors, you're not going to keep shooting at a 48% clip from 3.
Right.
And if you do, it's because you've got guys like Hero or Duncan Robinson, Kyle Lowry. None of these players are any good defensively. So eventually it's going to burn you. And where I think this, and I haven't heard anybody say this today, and I'm not sure I understand why. Miami has a lot of good role players. The problem is that the difference from the starters to the bench is so obvious that you're going to have to start giving these starters 40 minutes a run. And not Kyle or Kevin Love and not Kyle Lowry or whoever you decide is the 5th starter on any given night. That guy's still going to stay in the 22, 24, 26 area. But those other 4, you're going to run them 40 minutes a night. Because as soon as they sit down, every single time Denver's going on a run. And eventually that catches up to you. Mm-hmm. I think the longer this series goes, the more advantageous it is for Denver. Because they have 8, and I could argue they've got 3 more that could play legit minutes if they needed them to.
They out-talent them.
No doubt.
They can out-depth them, if that's even
If Miami wins this series, it should cement Eric Spoelstra in that discussion with the great coaches of all time. Because if you can win this series with that team, with every deficiency you have, and they had home court,
mm-hmm.
you're the real MVP.
Yeah, it would be the it would probably be it would definitely be, by seeding wise, the greatest upset in history. It would probably be the greatest overall win in history in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, and we're again doing that thing of we're a victim of the most recent thing that we've seen. Nothing really changed from game 1 to game 2. You did not expect Denver to lose on the road, or
to lose at home.
Backwards. You didn't expect Denver to lose at home. You didn't expect Miami to win one on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's happened. It's upset your apple cart, and you're unwinding 18 games of prior footage here. Yeah, that's an error in judgment.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. When we come back, we'll get just a bit outside.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Flash and dash summertime thunderstorms moving from north to south for the top of the work week. Our low tonight, 57 in the valley. Sunshine Tuesday, high of 82 degrees and near 80 degrees on Wednesday. Just an isolated storm. Rain chances less than about 30% here for the top of the work week. Less of a thunderstorm chance into the weekend ahead with temperatures up into the 80s. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Blue Ridge Health. At Blue Ridge Health, everyone deserves access to top-notch, compassionate health care, no matter their insurance or income status. Keep your family healthy with updated immunizations for COVID-19, flu, chickenpox, and shingles. Health care for all people, including you. Learn more at brchs.com.
Are you suffering from seasonal allergies? Because you're not alone. Experts say pollen season started earlier this year and will last longer, and that folks who've never had issues before are feeling miserable. I'm Martin Hoke, inventor of Navage, the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Over 3 million people use Navage to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping to flush out allergens, mucus, and germs. Navage helps clear your sinuses quickly and naturally. But what about other people's experiences, like Miss Clement? Quote, I chose Navage because of my persistent allergies. Navage works. While using it, I cut back on allergy meds and occasional shots at my doctor's office. Unquote. That's one of over 120,000 reviews with a 4.6-star average written by people who use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Stop suffering and try Navage today at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Fellas, stop treating your groin like junk. Introducing the Gillette Intimate Pubic Hair Trimmer, a gentle and easy shave from America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. Respect your pubic region with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. The idea of just a bit outside is stories that we wouldn't normally get to on a typical day from around the sports world. And I guess I got to throw this out because I got a high school baseball story to tell you about. And before I get to that, we need to issue congratulations to our two local teams who won North Carolina State championships this weekend.
One of us just so happened to attend. You know, no big deal.
Let's get there. The West Henderson Falcons winning the 3A state championship in baseball, and the T.C. Robertson Rams, Jeremy's alma mater, winning the 4A state championship. Woo-hoo! For what I believe is probably the 475th time in their school's history.
It's not that many, but it's a few.
It's a whole bunch. So congratulations to the two local teams winning state championships over the weekend. Last week, probably the worst loss I've ever seen in playoff baseball. And this is going beyond the ball gets behind Buckner in the 1986 World Series. This is pretty bad. And the New York high school Section 5 Class B1 championship game is the sectionals of the state tournament. Two teams facing off. One team has the lead. They've got a one-run lead in the bottom of the 7th inning. There are 2 outs, and all they need is one more strike, and the ball game is over, and they win the sectional championship. Well, throws the pitch. It's right down the pike. Problem is the catcher drops the ball, so drop third strike. We all know the baseball rule. Runner can go to first. Catcher reaches out to tag the kid on his way to first. Misses, but he thinks he got him. He does not see the umpire behind him, the home plate umpire, signaled safe and let the kid keep running to first base. Kid thought he got him, so what does he do? They do the celebratory championship. Catcher runs out to the mound with the ball in his hand, and he's jumping on the pitcher, and I would say 3/4 of the team all feel like the game is over. Meanwhile, the kids from the other team, they're still running the bases because they got 2 on, and here we go. The kid's going to first base, and he's safe. They're celebrating in the middle of the field. You can see like 3 kids on the video footage of the game. 3 kids in different spots of the field are trying to get their teammates' attention like, dude, this is still a live ball. 2 runs scored on the play while they were celebrating, and they lost the championship of the sectional because, well, and you could imagine what the bus ride home felt like on that one.
Not great. I'm going to say it was not great.
The coaches were ticked off and yelling at the umpires, which I feel like was misguided in a way.
Yeah, you're yelling at the wrong person.
You're yelling at the wrong guy because premature celebration can cost you a state title. That has got to be the worst loss in playoff baseball I've ever seen.
Premature. It's never good.
No.
Much like slogans with the Denver Broncos. Last year, I got a lot of humor out of "Let's Ride." Their slogan this year might be worse than "Let's Ride." What could possibly be the slogan of the Denver Broncos that I look at and go, that's worse than "Let's Ride"? I just want to see if you can come up with one off the top of your head.
Giddy up.
Giddy up. Giddy up is it? Good answer. Let's go.
Papa Mau Mau.
I have a few others that I can't say on FCC radio, but you can assume because they're horsies. That's where I was headed.
Mm-hmm.
That's not it. They have branded all of their team merchandise with one word: uncommon. All right.
Okay.
I've told you the word. Could you try to venture a guess of what it means?
Uncommon.
I mean, because I saw
How
it and
can
went.
This be a rallying cry for a football team?
Well, I mean, when I saw it, I immediately thought, "Oh, you're talking about you scoring touchdowns last year," because that was super uncommon.
I can't wrap my head around this.
Ben Powers, guard that the team signed in the offseason, says that it means winning football in the National Football League is uncommon. It's hard to do. It's why there's not a lot of winners. There's only one Super Bowl champ. Mm-hmm. Sean Payton has watched one too many Disney movies. I think you saw Remember the Titans one too many times. Because this is the dumbest thing I've seen in a long time.
Uncommon.
Do you think this is a middle school football team? This is the NFL. And you're wearing winning's uncommon. For you, it's been uncommon for you for quite some time. That's why you just had to pay $11 jillion and a first-round pick to get a coach. Stupid horsies. Go back to "Let's Ride." I'll make less fun of that, I promise.
So, the Denver Broncos, uncommonly awful.
Divine Comedy. Why would you go uncommon and not rare? Rare would make more sense. Still a little hokey.
How about this? Rare breed. See? Horses, zebras. Let's go.
I think I came up with a few better ones. Denver Broncos. We don't suck anymore. I know.
Can't say that.
Well,
can't say that because we don't know.
Yeah, because they do.
We honestly don't know.
Denver Broncos, we're really trying. We get an A for effort, which starts with an E, and we're sorry.
Yeah, you would. Man, there are so many better slogans that you could come up. I
can't think of many that are worse.
Hell, Giddy Up was better than that.
Giddy Up. I wanted to change it to Giddy Up. Can we go Giddy Up?
Uncommon.
We tied our shoes correctly and put our pants on facing the right direction. 2023 Denver Broncos. Let's ride.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, and if you're just joining us, we have Intern Jake making his debut on the Sportsocracy today. He will be Jake from the Sportsocracy, I guess, or
that seems to be happening a lot in the chat. So I'm going to say that Jake from the Sportsocracy does appear to be a name that he's.
He is interning with us from the University of North Carolina at Asheville. We are glad to have him in the studio with us here, and
we figured out very quickly today, because this is his first full day with us, that Jake is he's a youngman. Tank and I are both old men.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has said a word or two over the course of the day that I didn't necessarily know what they meant, because you're a Gen Zer, right?
A Gen Z, yes.
Okay. I still don't really understand what that means. I lumped everybody that was younger than me into millennial because it was a lot more fun to go, stop being so millennial. It's not fun to go, stop being so Gen Z. Like, oh, this is too many syllables. All right. It's too hard to be angry at you. I need to confine this back to one word. But he's come up with a list of words that are in his vernacular.
Okay.
And see if you and I know what they mean.
Oh, good Lord. This should be fun.
If Tank gets, and neither one of us have seen this. This is one of the things we're most excited about with Jake. Kid really knows his sports. All right. We were talking about the draft earlier. I don't remember who it was, but it was a 6th-round pick, and that kid went to Toledo or something like that. And I went, you're going to work here just fine.
It's all going to be just fine. So.
But now we can also do things like this because you and I don't know neither of us know what's coming. Only he does.
This could be a whole lot of fun. All right, so I take it away, Intern Gen Z Jake.
So I have 8 words that I use with my friends, and I'd actually be surprised if you get over 50% of these. So to kick it all off, I'm going to ask Jeremy, what does no cap mean?
Is that what happens when you forget to hit shift when you're typing something? Is it no cap?
No caps. No caps. Stop capsing at me, bro.
Okay. Can I pass to Tank?
Yeah, Tank, go ahead, man. Come on, let's hear it.
Let's see.
No caps is also a rule that we don't abide by here because we're afraid Tank will take his off and we'll see his pointy head.
Yeah. No, that means no lie, right?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So when
lying.
If I would say,
no idea why. Tell us why.
Yeah. So if I would say I really think the Colts are going to win 0 games this season, no cap. That means no lie. I actually believe that is true. So cap can be interchangeable with lie. So no lie, no cap.
But now here's the thing I understand. Cap is not a shorter word than lie. So why did we need another word for a word we already had?
That's what I need. I need the can you give me the origin of the term no cap? Like why?
I could not tell you.
Okay.
I really couldn't.
Okay. So we're not going like spelling bee here where he has the origin of the word.
Right.
All right, number 2 on the list, we're going to go with bet. Tank, you want to start us off here with this one?
Bet. Well, I mean, we used to use this word back in the early 2000s, and it was like, hey, you want to go grab something to eat? Bet. Let's go. Let's do it.
It's like agreeing.
Right.
Yes. So bet is like saying, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, bet, man.
Yeah.
Okay, bet. There we go.
Got one.
I'm too.
You guys, okay. Now, what about this? Bougie.
Bougie's what my wife is.
100%.
100%. Yeah, she's always got her nails done. Really takes care of it. Over the top.
Yeah.
That's a word I actually know, but I don't know how to explain it. Other than Amy, is that an acceptable answer?
I mean, I guess so. It's luxurious in a lifestyle. So a luxurious lifestyle. You are bougie, famous for Amigos song
Bad and Bougie, which is an awesome song.
It's a great song. All right, now number 4 here, we got Himothy.
3 Amigos? Is that?
It is 3 Amigos, yes, that's correct. So what about this, Tank? Himothy. If I'm like...
Himothy? Is that like Himothy Butler?
That's correct.
Yeah, it's him.
Yeah, it's pretty much
That
just
is
saying
him.
him. I don't know why they changed it to Himothy instead of him or
Well,
him.
I feel like I speak enough that I should have some rights to pushing these things forward. You know, Himmy that's what Jimmy would be called around his friends, and Himothy is what would be on his medical records. So he would be Himothy Butler.
The chosen one, pretty much. If
Right.
somebody is Himothy, he is the chosen one, or they are the chosen one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up we have Slay.
Is that a
Do I
corner
have to
for the
say it like
Philadelphia
that?
Eagles?
Do I have to go dashing through the snow?
Little
One
horse open
sleigh.
sleigh. I have no idea
But
what
does
that
it
means.
have like 17 A's?
I
Or
mean,
14 Ys.
usually when somebody says it, they go, "Okay, Slay."
Is that like
If
see
somebody
you later? I don't know.
If somebody said sleigh to me, I'd be like, where? Where is this sleigh? Is Santa on it? Does he have presents for all of us?
So slay is a term that you can use for 2 situations. Obviously, you can say slay as kind of like, okay, bet, okay, slay. Or when someone is looking really good, someone is very confident, you're like, you are a slay. You are slaying.
Slang
Okay,
would
so
be slang would be that would make sense because that's grammatically accurate. The first one was using you got the tense wrong. I haven't taken an English class in a long time.
All right, next up we have bussin'.
Oh God, yeah, this is not. My kids use this all the time.
And see, that's another thing. He's got kids that are like right of the age where they start talking in these words that don't make any sense.
It's so infuriating too.
But I don't know what that means.
All right, so
I know there's a podcast called "Bussin' with the Boys" or something like that. That's actually pretty good. But I don't know what it means.
My kids use it in the term of like so like I make dinner, and they'll tell me, "Dad, dinner was bussin', man." It means good or really incredible or.
All right, we're going with good because his answers.
That is correct. Yeah.
So bussin'. I'm like, what?
Now that's
No,
a
I don't
term
know what
I
that
do
means.
not like to use. I think it's too young for me. But bussin' is just it's too much. But yes, like you say, when someone's eating a really good meal, they go, "Oh my God, that was bussin'."
Yeah.
So 2 more here. Last or second to last, mid.
The mid just be average.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
You guys have gotten a lot
so
here,
Let's
huh?
go. Tank, you and I combined are one 20-year-old man. Let's go.
Last up, this one is probably the most outrageous here. The 2022 Oxford Word of the Year. And it's actually 2 words, so I don't understand that.
Oxford Word of the Year.
Yeah, we long ago stopped adhering to rules there.
Goblin mode.
I can think of no less than 18 things I could say right now that'll get me kicked out of this room.
100%. So I'm gonna go full. Hold on, I'm gonna go full spelling bee here and say I need the word repeated because I think I know what you just said, but I heard it and my brain went to a place that I can't say. So I'm gonna have to audible. And all right, one more time.
Goblin mode. So goblin, like there's ghouls and goblins.
That's
goblin mode.
So goblin mode, that'd be like Game of Thrones. It's just the Tarkanian girl, Jerry's daughter, she was in goblin mode.
I have no idea.
You could literally tell me this was a brand of car, and I would go, good answer.
Right.
I have absolutely no idea what this means.
Is the word? Can you spell it for me?
Goblin.
Okay,
It's
so it is like
goblin
I
mode.
got that.
I didn't know if it was like goblin mode, like
Goblin.
I'm just am I at the
Don't
buffet?
do it.
I'm just eating.
Oh
like,
yeah,
like
the Tank from 1997.
like dude went straight into goblin mode at the
100%
at the
from
buffet.
1997 to 2021. Every time Tank saw a complex carbohydrate, he was in goblin mode.
We went down. We went down to the Golden Corral, and Tank went full goblin mode and shut the place down.
I have no idea what that means.
Okay, so goblin mode is defined as the rejection of societal expectations. Now, what you would say for goblin mode, so somebody just goes into a Chick-fil-A and spills their drink everywhere, causes a ruckus, runs out. You'd say that person's on goblin mode. Like, what is their problem?
Yeah.
So when you said, if I went to Golden Corral, you honestly could be on goblin mode there if you were just sticking your head in the chocolate fondue fountain.
He was. I've seen him. I've actually seen him put chocolate fondue on mashed potatoes.
No, he was definitely on goblin mode then.
All right, so this little exercise has taught me two things.
Yeah.
One, there are going to be some disconnects in this room over the next handful of months where I have to look at Intern Jake and go, the hell did you just say to me? Because those were words, but I don't know what they mean. The other is I am a 36-year-old man that now, I'm reading trends here. If the English language keeps going in the direction that people younger than me are taking it, at 50 years old, I don't speak English anymore. Like, there's now so many things that you say on a daily basis. I don't know what this language is anymore.
And it's fine. There'll be a whole brand new a slew of words that we'll have to do this again in another 2 years because none of those are going to stick.
No. And then we change things.
Apparently, bet is multi-generational.
I think we solidified bet. Our generation put that out there. And now my brain hurts a lot. Bet. I better go.
Speaking of bet, we got Jeremy's pick of the night coming up next.
I'm going to go to
the Sportsocracy.
In the break, I'm going to go to the break room and find a piece of cake and go full goblin mode.
Full goblin mode on the cake. It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We will continue our series of Mount Rushmores after the top of the hour Sports Center update, as we will be doing the AFC North. Each and every team in the AFC North. It's real hard when it comes to at least two of these franchises. I think I have three possible Mount Rushmores for two of the teams in the AFC North. But we'll pare it all down. We'll discuss who should be on the Mount Rushmore for the teams of the AFC North. Coming up after this Sports Center update. Next, Jeremy's pick of the night in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
At Ingles, we are proud to introduce our all-new curbside service. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app to order, and our friendly staff will bring your groceries right to your car and have you ready to go in no time. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Grab your shades, your flip-flops, and your free iHeartRadio app for summer 2023.
No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Psst, hey, Mark, remember, getting help from Progressive is so easy. You can use the mobile app, chat with us online, or call us.
And you pick now to tell me.
I couldn't miss Little Grace's ballet recital. Oh, thanks for inviting me, by the way.
Did I?
Because you know I'm always here for you.
Yeah. I can use the mobile app if I need help. Sorry, you're in my wife's seat, though?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go anyway. Tell Grace she nailed her chassé.
Get the help you need from Progressive with our mobile app, online chat, or over the phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
When you order food for work on EasyCater.com, we've got your back. Real humans are here to help with your order every step of the way, making sure everything goes right, even behind the scenes without you knowing. Confirming and double confirming with the restaurant that everything is on track. If there's a problem,
thanks for calling EasyCater.
Call us anytime, day or night, and we'll answer in seconds. We're right here with 100,000 restaurants, working hard to ensure the food arrives on time and is ordered. Order 24/7 at EasyCater.com.
DQ presents how to get the most from your next DQ treat run. Step 1, grab the new Oreo Brookie Blizzard. Step 2, dig in. That's it. Because this triple-decker treat has brownie and cookie brookie pieces, plus Oreo pieces. Oh, that's a mouthful of DQ goodness in every red spoonful. Guess it's time for a treat run. Because the Oreo Brookie Blizzard is here for a limited time, only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Coffee's for closers only. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
I've had several of you send me messages on Twitter, checking up on me, just making sure if it's still my 2023 NBA champion Denver Nuggets. And the answer is really simple. Yes. Relax. It's the most recent thing you've seen. Don't worry. Still taking Nuggets in 5. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. We don't have an NBA game tonight. Miami got one last night. I think that's the only game they get in the series because Nikola Jokic will not have another game where he can't facilitate any better than he did last night. Oh, and by the way, I don't think Denver has another game where the defense looks like it forgot how to play, and they still had a shot at the buzzer to tie it. So just calm down. What we do have tonight is NHL Stanley Cup Final Hockey. There's something I never thought I'd say out loud, but here we are. The Florida Panthers and the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas a 1.5 goal favorite, over under 5.5. Again, do not fall victim to the most recent thing you've seen. Going into the third period of Game 1, Florida looked like they had a chance to take home ice advantage, and then the third period happened. But that's still kind of an anomaly. With this kind of line, I think the value with Florida is good enough. This will be a low-scoring game. I'm going under the 5.5, and I'm taking Florida plus 120 in the money line to get this to 1-1 and take home ice. For more, follow us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingles, love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Splash and dash summertime thunderstorms moving from north to south for the top of the work week. Our low tonight, 57 in the valley. Sunshine Tuesday, high of 82 degrees and near 80 degrees on Wednesday. Just an isolated storm. Rain chances less than about 30% here for the top of the work week. Less of a thunderstorm chance into the weekend ahead with temperatures up into the 80s. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Make your summer getaway to a new bed. Shop Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale. Save up to 50% on top brands, with Queen starting at just $179.99. Plus, save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Are you ready? You ready? Are y'all ready to have a good time? How hard are you ready? Ready to do this.
Get ready.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival is back.
This festival is insane to bring all these different types of music together.
Can you believe all the artists performing?
The best fans in the world with the biggest stars from all walks of music under one roof.
Be here as our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival lineup is revealed. Tomorrow at 8 a.m.
At Blue Ridge Health, everyone deserves access to top-notch, compassionate health care, no matter their insurance or income status. Keep your family healthy with updated immunizations for COVID-19, flu, chickenpox, and shingles. Health care for all people, including you. Learn more at brchs.com.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Chargers coach Brandon Staley today described negotiations with quarterback Justin Herbert as ongoing. Herbert's entering year 4 of his 5-year rookie contract, scheduled to earn $4.23 million. He's eligible to sign a long-term extension. Herbert expressing continued faith in the organization. Bills continuing to work on their defensive line, added another veteran presence to their pass rush group, agreed with former Rams linebacker Leonard Floyd on a 1-year deal. ESPN NFL insider Jeremy Fowler.
There are several good free agent pass rushers that were on the market, but Floyd was considered by some teams to be the top guy. He's got at least 9 sacks in each of the last 3 years. And so the Bills can now pair Floyd with Greg Rousseau, their young pass rusher, and Von Miller. Those two were together with the LA Rams.
Miller coming off a major right ACL injury. His availability for the start of the season is in question. Michael Vick, Larry Fitzgerald, Terrell Suggs among the players on the 2024 College Football Hall of Fame ballot. Coco Gauff, a straight sets win today. She's on to a 3rd straight French Open quarterfinals.
It's Wrangler season out there. Open roads, endless horizons. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles, made for your next adventure. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Green, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingalls Supermarkets.
And this is the Sportsocracy live in the Ingalls studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go with the iHeartRadio app, and you can also see us everywhere you go on your smart device on YouTube. Go to sportsocracy.com. Click the live video link on the page if you can't seem to find it. It's very searchable, though, on YouTube.
We're the only Sportsocracy on the planet. So I made sure of that.
Indeed. Just click on that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat and get your thoughts in on whatever the topic of the moment is. And now it's time to continue our series of Mount Rushmores. We have gone through a few divisions already, and today, AFC North time. And it's really hard to come up with just one Mount Rushmore for the first team we're going to talk about here, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I have a funny feeling we're going to fight about this.
I don't know that there's a lot of fighting going to happen because here's the thing. The Pittsburgh Steelers are such a historic franchise that you could come up with a number of different combinations that I think you could get the majority of Steelers fans on board with.
I agree.
The question to me becomes how much focus do you put on the coaches as opposed to the players?
And the ownership.
Because
I feel like Dan Rooney should be number 1. And you could make the argument it should be his son. I'm not even sure which of the 2 family members. I don't even know which one to put on this thing.
Do you put Art up there?
As I went down the rabbit hole, I think it has to be Art Rooney.
Okay.
I mean, yes, Art's done a lot to further the sport. And for me, I think he has to be the one. But that also, they've got so many great players, that takes me off Chuck Noll.
Yep.
I can't it's one or the other. You can either have Noll as the coach that put them on the right track, I mean, and then that means you have to leave off Bill Cowher and Mike Tomlin.
Exactly. That should be a Mount Rushmore to itself. You should have Art Rooney and then Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. That's done. Front office Mount Rushmore.
That's the front
in the
office.
books.
And we're done.
But then
you got to get to the players.
You got to get to the players. And see, that's the thing. Like,
did you have Art Rooney in yours to begin with?
I did not. I went all players.
I think you have to.
Because I didn't think it was fair. I didn't think it was fair to isolate any of the coaches. And the ownership.
But, I mean, if you were going to, it would be Noll. It has to be.
I would think so.
He was the coach.
The guy won 4 Super Bowls.
He did, and he was there for 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and it feels bad leaving off Bill Cowher. He was there 15.
Right.
Mike Tomlin's been there 16.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you got to love a franchise that's this consistent.
Absolutely.
So for me, I put that on the ownership, and I think the one that did more for the sport was Art. So that's where I started. Who was your one?
My one, Mean Joe Green.
Mean Joe Green was my 2. So that's one that I feel like we can universally say he has to be in it.
Absolutely.
And then?
It was Ben.
And I knew you were going to say that. You would have Ben over Bradshaw.
Yes.
I don't know that I agree with you.
I feel like he was the better of the quarterbacks. Yes,
he wasn't the more successful of the quarterbacks.
Yes, Bradshaw has more rings. But again, how much was that due to that steel curtain defense and the outstanding play of others? It was, I mean, yeah, Terry was doing special stuff in the 1970s, and it's all well and good, but he got passed. He got passed by Ben Roethlisberger to me.
And I just can't get there because one has the rings and one has a ring.
2.
Well,
Ben's got 2.
Yeah, he's got. He does.
He does.
He does. I always forget about the Seattle Super Bowl. That was, without a doubt, the most nondescript Super Bowl we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, you convinced me. I didn't want you to. But you're right.
But Ben belongs.
I mean, nobody wants to say this, and this is I'm going to irk 2 fan bases at one time. The similarities between Joe Namath and Terry Bradshaw are really staggering.
Mm-hmm.
Both were stalwart players in a franchise. Then you go down the old statistical stats don't care about your feelings path, and you go, ooh, well, that doesn't look as good as I wanted it to. The difference in rings is just not as much as I want it to be. And you're right, it was a lot because of the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, I will agree on Ben.
Okay.
This is where it gets, I believe, virtually impossible. My list is 17 deep.
I didn't go quite that deep, but I do have more. I do, because I have 2 Mount Rushmores just for the players. My first iteration of this, my 3, was Jack Lambert. Because, just follow me down the path here. Are there other Steelers that are more deserving statistics-wise? Sure. But when you're talking about a Mount Rushmore, what's going to draw the people? And I think it's going to be Jack Lambert's scary-ass toothless mug up there. I mean, he personifies Pittsburgh Steeler football.
He does, but do you not think of Mean Joe Green first?
Yeah, that's why he's won.
And I get that. They've been so good for so long that I almost can't give them another one. That's how you got me off Terry Bradshaw. You're right. When I think of that team, I think of the defense. The face of that was Mean Joe Green.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't have another one.
Okay.
Because the one after much gnashing of teeth that I got to was Troy Polamalu.
Yep. He was my 4. Again, for the aesthetic, because I'm going to have the hair.
Oh, the hair was phenomenal.
The hair is going to be the whole back splash of the mountain.
Oh, no doubt. Oh, yeah. And then you look at who that means you're leaving off.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even consider Franco Harris.
Really?
For a second. I didn't think about him for a second. I saw the name and I went, no shot.
But why?
There's no shot I get him on this list.
But why? Were the stats just not good enough for you?
He was a phenomenal player.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, he was basically a fullback. And I understand he did a lot of stuff.
He was a multi-time All-Pro. Was like Mr. Steeler in the community. Had that recognizable face that everybody loved. And oh, by the way, he's responsible for the most famous play in NFL history,
which still probably didn't happen. It's just we didn't have cameras back then, so we don't actually know. But I mean, I saw the name and I just went, "There's no way," because for me, I can't put Franco in and leave Terry Bradshaw off. I can't. It's just not physically, and maybe I'm biased because I'm younger, and I've grown up in an age where fullbacks are like Mike Allstott, and I know he played right. I get it. He was a glorified fullback. That's what he did, and I just can't get there.
That's why Franco Harris stars on my Mount Rushmore 3 for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I mean, then you go Mike Webster, who's arguably one of the best to ever play his position ever. Jack Ham, Rod Woodson.
He was also on Mount Rushmore 3. My Mount Rushmore 3 was Terry Bradshaw 1.
Wow, he got all the way to 9? For him to be on the third one, he had to get to 9.
I mean, there was the front office one.
Oh, okay.
So he's on the second player Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
Terry Bradshaw 1, Franco Harris 2, Rod Woodson 3, and then number 4. I don't feel like you could have an auxiliary Mount Rushmore for the Pittsburgh Steelers without having the most beautiful and vicious smile in the NFL history. It's Hines Ward.
Hines Ward was one I considered for a long time. Lynn Swann is one I considered for a long time.
Yep. Stallworth would have been that's Mount Rushmore 4. That's what I'm saying. It's so hard to pare this down to just 4.
To me, that's why this topic is so interesting, because you get into so many facets of what this actually means. Because as I built mine, I could not do this without having somebody associated with the front office. And I went Rooney Knoll against each other it probably took me longer to settle that in my own head than anything else did. Mean Joe was the no-doubter. Then I got stuck at quarterback, and I felt like you couldn't put 2 of them in there. And I basically just wanted to see which one you were going to try to convince me of, and I was going to go, yeah, what he said. Because if anybody got angry, I could go, he was the one that did it.
So, I mean, you can go on. You can continue down the honorable mentions path with the Pittsburgh Steelers until the cows come home.
Eat and Sleep Football, who is a Steelers fan, said in the words of Bill Buttigieg, Tank, I hate the things you say, when you say them, and how you say them. We need to get that on a shirt. Just get Tank's face up here. I hate the things you say, the way you say them,
and how you say them. Indeed.
I know it's a little bit controversial, but did you guys debate on Antonio Brown being on that?
Nope.
No.
Didn't even consider it. Didn't last long enough. I could argue he wouldn't even belong on the Mount Rushmore of receivers for this team. And see, I don't fixate that much on when it happened. Look, I think Antonio Brown's a great player, but there's no shot I'm putting him on this over Lynn Swann. None. No. I couldn't put him on it over Franco Harris. I'll be really honest, I couldn't put him on it over Hines Ward.
No.
So that was a name that I looked at. It's written there, Heath Miller. That's another one that I looked at the name, went, yeah, you deserve to be at least mentioned here, but you're not anywhere close to this.
No.
And looking at the chat, you see a lot of Swan. You see a lot of Hines Ward.
Lynn Swann's the one I think is the hardest for me to live off. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you mean by hardest. What do you mean? Oh, the hardest to leave off?
Yes. I mean, he was a special player.
He was.
At a time that you didn't have a ton of guys that were special players at that position. I saw somebody say he changed the way we play wide receiver. I agree with that to a point, but not – it wasn't just him by himself. There were a lot of guys in that range of years that I could attribute that to.
Right.
It was more a combination of all of them than one. But he is one of the first names I think about when I start thinking about, this is when things moved.
The one that I tried to squeeze in there was James Harrison. I feel like he has a place.
I wrote that name down, and I couldn't get it in over Rod Woodson. I certainly couldn't get it over Jack Ham and a slew of others. So I feel like we have to narrow this down to 4.
Yes.
Can we agree on Rooney?
Sure.
You got to have somebody.
I would agree.
We can agree on Rooney. We can agree on Mean Joe Green.
Yes.
We can agree on Ben.
Yes.
And then is Polamalu 4?
Troy Polamalu 4.
I think that's it. And then you look at the list you left off and went, we have that wrong. We have to do one of these for the Houston Texans. Can we not steal 3 spots from Houston?
Just so we can have everybody.
Since we're building these, just we'll trade Houston, one of our greats. You can claim, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Antonio Brown. You can have Antonio Brown, who would be your 2, and he's our 22. We need 3 spots on your mountain because we don't have enough space.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, there you have it. The Mount Rushmore for the Pittsburgh Steelers is the hardest one to do. Or is it?
For right now.
Because when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about the Baltimore Ravens. If you think about despite the fact that you have such a short amount of time, there are so many names that you could put on that Mount Rushmore.
Oh, and we're going to fight because there's one that, to me, has to be on it, and you're going to tell me I'm out of my mind.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sardis Road northbound stop and go between Brevard Road and Sand Hill Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Mills Gap Road approaching Alpine Ridge Drive, both directions slow. North Asheville, Merriman Avenue northbound approaching Edgewood Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing. Summit Racing wants you to gear up your truck or Jeep for your next off-road camping adventure. With millions of parts in stock, you'll find off-road and outdoor essentials so you can camp confidently and comfortably. SummitRacing.com. Everything you need for anything you drive.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Hey, Jake, can you finish that induction range installation tomorrow?
Orders have really amped up at Nate's Electric.
We need to finish installing it first in Maine. Did we hear back from the grocery chain?
It's no shock he needs electricians, like yesterday.
Smart fridge. Everybody wants one of those these days.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
DQ presents how to get the most from your next DQ treat run. Step 1, grab the new Oreo Brookie Blizzard. Step 2, dig in. That's it. Because this triple-decker treat has brownie and cookie brookie pieces, plus Oreo pieces. Oh, that's a mouthful of DQ goodness in every red spoonful. Guess it's time for a treat run. Because the Oreo Brookie Blizzard is here for a limited time. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. We were asked to do the Mount Rushmores for each and every NFL team, so we continue the series today with the AFC North. Pittsburgh was really hard.
Really hard.
There will be others like that. I mean, I can fully see we're going to get into discussions like that with the Dallas Cowboys and some of the most historic franchises in the NFL. The Baltimore Ravens, even though they haven't been around as long as the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Dallas Cowboys or Green Bay Packers or who, they have a bunch of dudes that could qualify for a Mount Rushmore. So, who's the number one? Who's the number one on your Mount Rushmore for the Baltimore Ravens, Jeremy?
You're not going to like my answer.
Okay.
It's Jonathan Ogden.
He's the one.
He's the one.
He's the one face that you look at and go, yep, that's the franchise.
So he was the first pick in franchise history.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably the best left tackle of all time. And he's the only member of the offense that I can physically get on this. And you're going to say, but what about Ray or Ed Reed? Or can you tell the story with one of them by themselves without the other? No. You cannot tell the story of that legendary defense without both of them.
Mm-hmm.
The offense, you could tell the story of that and never mention anybody but Jonathan Ogden. You throw Jamal Lewis in because he had one special year. Other than that, he was largely average. So for me, Ogden's my one.
Okay.
That was also a signal, and I went super deep on Baltimore because this one was kind of hard for me because they have the same exact problem that Pittsburgh did. You got two coaches that really both kind of deserve to be here, which means I can't put either one of you on it. I wanted to put Brian Billick badly. I couldn't find a way because I don't think you can put Billick on it without putting Harbaugh on it. Do you agree or disagree?
I want to disagree, but I see what you're saying. I have Billick on mine.
He's on yours?
He's on mine.
So wait, I convinced you into it then convinced myself out of it.
You did.
Because you convinced me of Ozzie Newsome.
And I wanted to, but I went and my number one was Steve Bisciotti. I mean, he's the guy that took the franchise over from Art Modell. As soon as he bought the 49% stake in this team, they won the Super Bowl. And then a few years later, he got full control of the team. And just the way that this organization has been run, I think you have to tip your cap to Steve Bisciotti.
And I convinced you on him too. But then it gets into who do you leave off? Because to me, you physically cannot leave off Jonathan Ogden.
I agree.
I don't think you could leave him off. So if you have Bisciotti, you have to leave off Ozzie Newsome, who was the guy basically that drafted this entire team.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, Ozzie Newsome is the figurehead of the front office. I agree with you wholeheartedly on Bisciotti. But Modell's the one that moved the team here. They won the Super Bowl with Modell the first time. And then it really just kind of carried on. I know he came in, and that's when things really changed, and they've become this stalwart franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I also can't really name you any one thing he's done other than hire obnoxiously well. Can you? He's got a little hand in everything. Well, like Art Rooney. The reason that he wound up on Pittsburgh's for me is the Rooney Rule, plus all the things he did with the team. He gave something bigger to the sport, which is why I think he has to be on it. I don't have one of those for Bisciotti.
Okay.
And Ozzie Newsome is the greatest GM that ever lived. That is my excuse for getting him in there.
Okay.
I can't say Steve Bisciotti's the greatest owner of all time. I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
Yep. My number one was Ray. Ray is the face of the franchise, whether you like it or not.
And I agree, but then you get into we did this with OJ. You can't. Now, for me, you can't leave Ray off the list, but he's the face of the franchise. Well, there was this thing that happened the night of the Super Bowl in Atlanta, and, we don't really know what happened, but It was not great.
Indeed.
Ray was my three. I have Ogden, Newsome, Ray, Ed Reed. Okay. You have somebody else, don't you?
I have Billick. I had Brian Billick on there.
I mean, other than the two defense, you've got Ed and Ray in there.
No. Ed did not make it. I've got Ogden and Ray and Bisciotti and Billick.
I swear, somehow, I convinced you of my list and you convinced me of yours. We talked about this last week, and I swear to you, you now have my exact list and I have yours.
Right. And then you have the auxiliary Mount Rushmore with Ozzie and Ed Reed and Terrell Suggs and Jamal Lewis.
I cannot have Billick no matter how bad I want to. I can't. Because if you look at Billick and Harbaugh side by side, they're different, but they're equal. And the other thing I couldn't get over is Billick's an offensive guy, and the offenses were not good in large part.
Mm-hmm.
You won on defense.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought with Billick was, look how many outrageously good coordinators, position coaches that Billick hired. That was me trying to convince myself of it. I don't physically think, and I'm going to say this way, and I'm going to allow you to defend your position, but I don't think you can.
Okay.
Tell me the story of the Baltimore Ravens mentioning Brian Billick and not mentioning Ed Reed, because I don't think you can do it.
Well, I mean, they're all tied together.
I agree. There were interchangeable pieces everywhere except Ray and Ed. To me, they both have to be on it. So does Ogden, and then somebody from the front office. And whoever you want that to be, you could convince me of Bisciotti, you could convince me of Harbaugh, Billick, and then I landed on the one that spanned them all, which was Ozzie Newsome.
Which was Ozzie. And I don't hate it. I'm interchangeable. I'm flexible.
I'm really not, because you talked me off three of these, and you gave me this, and then you put them on yours.
I did. Intern Jake sitting in with us. He's monitoring the chat. Were there any names that we didn't mention that got mentioned in the chat?
One that I thought that was really.
We're gonna get him a switch where he can control that.
No doubt.
One of the names that I saw that was pretty interesting to me, Justin Tucker, obviously one of the greatest kickers of all time.
If this was the Houston Texans, Justin Tucker would probably be one. Hey, Justin Tucker probably the greatest player in the history of the franchise. Don't ask me why I'm banging on Houston so much. They didn't do anything. Namely, it's just
they suck a lot.
It's kind of like yelling at a dog. It's easy. It's not nice, but it's easy.
It's easy to do.
I can't go there with Tucker. I just
no.
I can't.
I mean,
he would be in the top 10.
Maybe I don't.
Because the name that we haven't even said yet is Terrell Suggs.
Oh, I mentioned him.
I was probably talking, and if I'm talking, I'm not listening to you. It's just weird.
Old T Sizzle, he was one of my favorites.
He would probably be my 5. He would be my first one that I have to leave off because I can't see how I'll get him in.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously can't put him in over Ray. I don't think he can put him in over Ogden. And I just can't get to a path where I put him in over Ed Reed. Ed Reed's one of the 3 greatest safeties that ever lived.
Absolutely.
And so I can't do this without him. Did you consider anybody else?
No.
I wrote down a couple names and then laughed and went, well, I need to mention them. Haloti Ngata.
Yeah.
He's one of those like Calais Campbell that he was always great. But he was never flashy in any way, which means he's never going to get the credit he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
He should not have gotten an eye roll there. That's how great of a player he was. Peter Boulware.
But was he?
Oh, yeah.
Compared to the others.
Haloti Ngata he played one of the most thankless positions in the NFL. Okay, prove a point. Cameron Hayward or Haloti Ngata? All time.
Haloti.
Yeah, there you go. That's kind of my point.
Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to diss the guy. I'm just saying, was he face of the franchise?
No, that's the reason not on it, but he deserved to be mentioned.
Okay.
I would say the same thing about Todd Heap. I'd say the same thing about Peter Boulware.
Todd Heap, that's a name I hadn't thought about.
Peter Boulware, as a lifelong Florida State fan, I was going to get his name in this conversation, and I didn't care how I did it.
Anquan Bolden? Is he anywhere near your
I didn't
10,
even
top 15?
write his name down, but I understand why you said it. To me, he was elsewhere for too much time.
Mm-hmm.
Another Florida State guy.
There's one name that has not been mentioned that I'm.
Tony Saragosa?
No. Well, that's a great one. Yeah, I was going to say Lamar Jackson. Will we ever?
Did you even write the name down?
I did not.
I didn't know.
I did not. Will we ever get to that point? How much will it take is the question. Will it take? Does he have to win a Super Bowl to get on the radar? Because I would say yes.
Have to? No. I mean, if you have 10 more years at what you've done for the last 5, it would be stupid to not have him in the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even consider him in this.
I didn't either.
I basically got to 7 and went, I can't get away from this. Don C. has a great point, and I don't know which one he's saying no way to, but he says Ray Lewis, Ogden, Yonda, Reed, Suggs, Ozzie Tucker. Here's the thing. You only get 4 spots. That's 7 names. And what you just did is what I did the entire time trying to put this list together. Okay, again, can I buy some spots from, I don't know, the Jacksonville Jaguars? You don't need 4, okay? Just you give me a couple, and we'll, like, I don't know, lease your stadium for a year. Because you seem to be struggling to do that.
Yeah. Lamar wouldn't even be the
shots at
quarterback that you'd put on here, though. If a quarterback was going to make it, be Flacco.
Oh, that's the grossest thing you just said. Don C. said can't do for it. Yeah, I know. That's the point. That's why this is entertaining. Right. It's also why Taken have almost come to blows over 2 of these, and Baltimore was one of them. I don't know that Lamar ever gets in the conversation. I really don't. If he keeps doing what he's done over the last 5 years, but you're asking a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking a guy to age in a way that nobody ever has before.
And if you do get to the point where Lamar, so like I said, I think he has to win a championship to be able to be in discussion for this list, but he still doesn't make it because then Harbaugh goes on. Because then Harbaugh has 2. And you see what I'm saying? I just don't know that Lamar ever gets there.
Baltimore has a similar problem to Pittsburgh. It's just completely different. Pittsburgh has so many guys that could be considered the greatest that ever played their position. Ray, the greatest middle linebacker. Mm-hmm. Reed, the greatest safety. Mm-hmm. Ogden, the greatest left tackle. Tucker, the greatest kicker. Ozzie Newsome, the greatest GM. You only got 4 spots. So you have a lot of guys that are literally the greatest that ever did what they do. Pittsburgh's just got 40 dudes that were all-time greats. That's why this division is so great, and it's why every time we talk about this division, we get borderline fist fights in the chat.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. When we come back, we'll get weird.
Before we go to break, Pennywise in the YouTube chat with one of...
I'm your Huckleberry.
Those? He said, I feel like Calais Campbell should get an honorable mention. I wrote him at the bottom of my list and laughed and went, I'm not even sure I could get his name into this conversation, and I'm not sure he and Haloti Ngata aren't the same guy. Just wasn't here for as long as he was in Arizona for so much longer.
Right.
But you're not wrong. His name should at least be said.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Splash and dash summertime thunderstorms moving from north to south for the top of the work week. Our low tonight, 57 in the valley. Sunshine Tuesday, high of 82 degrees and near 80 degrees on Wednesday. Just an isolated storm. Rain chances less than about 30% here for the top of the work week. Less of a thunderstorm chance into the weekend ahead with temperatures up into the 80s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Future 26 eastbound slow between Riverside Drive and 240. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Smoky Park Highway southbound approaching Sand Hill Road. Light delays near Avery Creek. Brevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Northeast of Hendersonville, Girton Highway, an incident near Grant Mountain Road causing delays both directions. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blue Ridge Health. At Blue Ridge Health, everyone deserves access to top-notch, compassionate health care, no matter their insurance or income status. Keep your family healthy with updated immunizations for COVID-19, flu, chickenpox, and shingles. Health care for all people, including you. Learn more at brchs.com.
What's worse than calling your groin your junk? Treating it like junk. Respect your pubic region with Gillette Intimate. Gentle and easy pubic hair care from America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. Gillette, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retail.
Streaming June 8th on Peacock, a new original series called Based on a True Story.
She is the victim of the West Side Ripper. It's him. I know my killers.
Variety listed among the most anticipated shows of the summer.
What if we make a podcast about this? We could bring him in on it.
Bring the killer in on what?
The podcast.
From the Emmy Award-nominated producer of The Boys and the Emmy Award-nominated executive producer of Ozark.
Are you in danger?
No, I'm hiding something.
We are in too deep.
Starring Kaylee Cuoco and Chris Messina. A new original series called Based on a True Story. Only on Peacock.
I'm Israel Gutierrez. I'm hosting a new podcast called 4 Years of Heat. It takes you to Miami from 2010 to 2014, when LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade set the NBA ablaze.
You know, have an opportunity to team up with the best trio to ever play the game of basketball.
We'll take you inside those 4 monumental years with behind-the-scenes access and insight about one of the greatest teams ever assembled. 4 Years of Heat on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
It's the Sportsocracy, and it's always fun to get weird. And Jeremy, you know me, I'm a sucker for UFO stories.
Oh, good
and we
Lord.
possibly have the biggest news ever. Actually, in human history, this could be the biggest news ever.
I already hate the story, and I don't even know what it is yet.
But why? Because
you're going full, do you believe?
100%.
Of course you do.
100%. Do you believe? Because we have a new report out from The Debrief, which is, conspiracy theory kind of website. But But there is verifiable information, apparently, that David Grush, who is a veteran of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and the National Reconnaissance Office, who has now not in the, he's not in the biz anymore, but apparently he's gotten his hands on some documents and provided them to Congress, telling Congress that they've been lied to all of these years because the U.S. government or a section of the U.S. government has undoubted proof of extraterrestrials.
So they have absolutely no doubt proof. Did they talk to one?
According to what he is alleging here, is that in the possession of the U.S. government, we have either completely intact or partially intact aircraft that is of non-human origin. He also claims that we're not the only country that knows about this, and that when certain crashes and anomalies may happen, that there's like a rush of every every military defense secret organization to get out there and get all the remains before the other can, for of course military advantages. I don't know where this is going. I'm just saying, if this turns out to be true, and we're going to have some open doors here, we could have definitive proof.
Okay, so my story and yours have nothing to do with each other.
For once.
Except that they do. And once I tell my story,
You're going to make the link?
I'm going to make the link.
Okay, all right.
My story comes from Great Britain, the United Kingdom. It's about a man named Stuart Gilmore. He's 44 years old, and he kind of looks like Dax Wilder, the professional wrestler. A lot of tattoos, bald gent with a little goatee. And he believes that he does not have to abide by the laws that all the rest of us do. And apparently, in this portion of England, he's correct, because he is a nudist. He does everything in his life in just a pair of walking boots.
Okay.
Early last week, he went to fill up his car, completely in the nude.
Mm-hmm.
Over 100 people posted pictures of this online, to the point that he found himself online and responded with a line that said, oh, lost it. I don't take any notice when people take photos. All I'm doing is filling up my car like anyone else. I'm in a public space, so they're legally allowed to, and it's not something you see every day, so I don't let it bother me. Now, the reason I wanted to tell this story was, A, to ask a question. Is filling up your car with gas the worst thing that you can do completely naked? Because I went to mowing your grass. Mm-hmm. That would be very high. Mm-hmm. Weed eating, very high. There's a lot of potential injury involved there.
Indeed. Lots of shrapnel.
100%. With filling your car up with gas, I'm thinking, we're always taught stop, drop, and roll. I don't know how pleasant that's going to be while you're naked. But then I told this story because what you're trying to tell me is that there's this huge conspiracy that we have alien craft. There are 100 pictures of a naked guy at a gas station, and you're telling me we kept that secret for 50 years.
Absolutely.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. The ugly, fat, dumpy, naked guy was trending on Twitter, and yet alien life forces have been coming into our atmosphere, and we've been keeping it completely secret. I would have bought every bit of that until the invention of Instagram. And now you've lost me. Nothing stays secret. Ever, including the tattooed naked guy who I have now seen way more of than I wanted to.
You do realize there are a lot of sightings, daily.
Yeah, there's been a lot of sightings of Bigfoot, too. You ever walked up on a Sasquatch? Didn't think so. Nobody has. You ever met one person that has that you didn't go, that dude's a little out of his gourd? I always look at things by who is it that believes it.
Mm-hmm.
naked guy, I bet he believes in UFOs.
100%.
Almost undeniably, I will bet you that guy has got a "the truth is out there" poster in his
I honestly can't believe you
mother's
don't.
basement.
I honestly cannot believe you don't.
I don't, for one very specific reason. You're thinking, and you know, I'm a big fan. When you hear hoofbeats, it makes a lot more sense to assume horses than zebras. You are assuming in a society where nothing stays secret, somehow we have managed to do all these things, and nobody who's not a total kooky madookie has ever taken a picture of this. Ever. There's never been one doctor of learned literature that went, "Look, I have found this very high quality HD picture of alien life force flying over my house." No, it's always Billy Bob from a trailer park in West Virginia. "Hey, Mel, look at them there aliens up over the trailer. I got it right here on my flip phone." That's the only one that ever sees it. I struggle to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I struggle to believe that's the case.
Says the man who says birds aren't real.
Birds aren't real. We've proven this time and time again. Explain the backup camera on your car. There's no camera that hangs over your car, and yet it can see on top of it. How does it do that? Because the birds are everywhere. My explanation makes a lot more sense than yours does. That's all I'm trying to say.
He's maddeningly inconsistent there, Intern Jake.
I can't believe it.
What, that birds aren't real?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. See, now, this is another beauty of Intern Jake. He can settle a lot of arguments we've had over the years. Jake, you're a learned boy.
Yes, sir.
And a nice kid that seeks higher education. You ever seen a baby pigeon? Ever?
You know, I was in Ireland for a month, and I did not see a baby pigeon.
There you go. And nobody ever has. It's weird. There's a bajillion pigeons. Nobody's ever seen a baby. Ever. Not one time.
You can't even Google it.
You can Google it. Of course you can. Just like you can Google your stupid UFO photos because Photoshop is a thing.
I mean, I can find you some serious high definition footage of baby pigeons. It's not that hard to find.
Yeah, it's Photoshop.
You can actually watch it. You can actually watch the hatching process.
Yeah, I can watch your UFOs flying into airspace over 10,000 houses, and nobody with an IQ above fish food goes, "Hey, I saw it," and I got video of it. I took an Instagram. There are people that literally post every meal they've eaten since the Obama administration, and yet somehow those same people with high-def camera phones have never gone to the sky and gone, "There it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's one right there. There she is."
Your ignorance is amazing on this subject.
Yeah.
Like just never paid attention to a single UFO sighting, apparently, because there's billions of videos out there.
There's billions of them of Sasquatch, too. And you know what? I don't buy those either because it's always the same kooky guy with a pair of overalls, and one of the connections is over his shoulder, and he's got a little nip out. Because that's the guy that does it. That every time you give me one learned gent that says, "I have this," and I'll go, I'm listening. Unfortunately, it's a slew of people that I don't. No good can come from how I'm going to finish this sentence.
Just keep on digging.
Somewhere there's somebody going, "I don't think he respects my knowledge on UFOs."
I can't wait till we find out. Yeah. I can't wait till we find out, and then Jeremy has to just realize.
You want me to tell you what I believe?
Oh, yeah.
When one of them walks in here and wants to do a bit about who belongs on Pittsburgh's Mount Rushmore, Ben Roethlisberger or Terry Bradshaw, that's when I believe. Because here's another part of this that I can't physically wrap my head around.
Mm-hmm.
This super intelligent life force that would come here. Like the place that made the Kardashians famous. They're out in the ethos and they go, "That's what we need. We need to go to that place where Kim Kardashian is their queen."
Oh, no, they're studying us on all the ways to keep their planet from going to hell like ours has.
I fully believe that it's they watch us like it's a daytime television soap opera. South Park had that right. Earth is actually the greatest soap opera in the ethos. That I believe. We've got all these UFOs, and nobody's ever seen them, and nobody can confirm it. Yeah. Horses Zebras.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We spent way too much time on that.
Oh, no, we didn't. It's fine. It's June sports talk. You cannot spend too much time on anything. It's not physically possible.
We are going to have to push the Mount Rushmores to the next hour. When we come back, we'll talk about the latest discussions of expansion in the Big 12.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Future 26 eastbound slowing between Riverside Drive and 240 due to an accident on the ramp. 26 eastbound stop and go east of Brevard Road to approaching the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blue Ridge Health. At Blue Ridge Health, everyone deserves access to top-notch, compassionate health care, no matter their insurance or income status. Keep your family healthy with updated immunizations for COVID-19, flu, chickenpox, and shingles. Health care for all people, including you. Learn more at brchs.com.
Ready to take control of your phone plan? Well, then you better take that next turn to a Verizon store. Because my plan from Verizon is the kind of control we all deserve. Get exactly what you want. Only pay for what you need. Get my plan at your Verizon store today.
Okay, outdoor summer cocktail party fit check. I've got a hot pink and orange bodycon dress paired with vintage sneakers. It'll definitely attract attention, but not from mosquitoes. Because I'm wearing it with Off Clean Feel. For 8 gorgeous hours of not sticky, fragrance-free protection. So I can sip, socialize, and flirt out there in the wild with absolutely unshakable confidence. Get your pre-party protection on with Off Clean Feel. SC Johnson, a family company.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
Back in the Sportsocracy, and it looks like the Big 12, well, they have a couple of teams or a couple of schools that are willing to join up. Nobody's surprised. Everybody's bailing water on the Pac-12.
I'm a little surprised at who the two teams are, though.
Are you? Arizona and Colorado are said to be set to join the Big 12. And why do those schools surprise you?
Okay. Arizona might be the worst Power 5 football program in America.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado, give me the allure without saying Deion Sanders' name.
Can't.
There you go. That's why it's shocking to me. I would have thought it was more likely those two schools would wind up in the Mountain West than somebody would have any interest in them. But Arizona's good in basketball. Yeah, they're also one of the few programs that makes like $8 in football. They make a little bit of money in basketball. It's not over the top.
Mm-hmm. To me, it makes all the sense in the world because the Big 12 is further leaning into strengthening the basketball side of things.
Which Colorado doesn't do much for. They do for a year.
No,
because they have a high-end recruit.
Yeah.
Did you so this report's from Greg Swaim, who's a radio host out west that has been pretty plugged into the Big 12. He was the first one to say Cincinnati was going to jump.
Right.
Did you read the end of it? So two of the other teams they've talked about are Utah and Arizona State, which, by the way, both of them make infinitely more sense than the other two, to me. No word yet on, and so he said that confirmed it's as good as done with Colorado and Arizona. No word on the Utes and Sun Devils, but may just take those two and save some spots for ACC teams. What ACC team would possibly leave to go to the Big 12?
I don't know.
I mean, the only ones that I could possibly wrap my head around would be maybe Syracuse, because they're so irrelevant in football.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get into geographic issues because it's really isolated.
Pittsburgh?
Maybe.
I don't.
Be in the same conference with West Virginia. By the way, Pat Narduzzi calling a Pittsburgh radio station as Pat in West Virginia to make fun of a host that went to West Virginia. You stay classy, Pat. That's all I'm going to say.
Nice job.
You stay classy. That was the part of this that got me like, so you're going to not take Utah and Arizona State to hold two spots for ACC teams, but I can't for the life of me figure out who would possibly jump to that. Even with the Big 12's TV deal being better, and they're still going to lose money without Oklahoma and Texas, which puts it way closer to the ACC than it does the Big 10 and the SEC.
I mean, does the Big 12 think that they can lure Florida State in? Does the Big 12?
Sorry. As a booster of that school, I didn't mean to laugh out loud. I didn't realize you were serious.
Right. Does the Big 12 believe that they can get Clemson?
No way.
I mean,
the only conference either of those teams are leaving for is the SEC.
I mean, those are the only.
Maybe the Big 10.
Right. But to me, those are the only schools that you would hold off Utah and Arizona State for, because Carolina's not leaving. None of the North Carolina schools are leaving the ACC.
No, because you have to take them all.
Right.
Because it doesn't make any sense to leave them out. So that's just a really shocking part of this to me. Because that means if this is true, and we can't confirm, this is just somebody that's been really accurate on this over the course of time, that means you're taking a bird in the hand, because I feel like Utah and Arizona State would jump right now, especially if Colorado and Arizona are out. So you're going to take that bird in the hand for what might be? It makes me think you have a better position than any of us could believe.
All right, Big 12, we have finally agreed. We have agreed from the ACC that you can have Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech.
Boston is a weird way to say Boston College and Syracuse. Have at it.
It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Since we're doing the Mount Rushmore thing, we're going to keep this going. In the daily draft, we're going to bring intern Jake in here with us for the daily draft segment today.
We'll give you a little idea of what Jake's all about. We'll get to show a little personality, because we're going to draft our Mount Rushmores of music. And frankly, just hearing you two talk before the show made me go, this could be good.
You're at the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Splash and dash summertime thunderstorms moving from north to south for the top of the work week. Our low tonight, 57 in the valley. Sunshine Tuesday, high of 82 degrees and near 80 degrees on Wednesday. Just an isolated storm. Rain chances less than about 30% here for the top of the work week. Less of a thunderstorm chance into the weekend ahead with temperatures up into the 80s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Future 26 eastbound slowing between Riverside Drive and 240. due to an accident on the ramp. 26 eastbound, stop and go east of Brevard Road to approaching the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 westbound, stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Nacho fries just got even better with steak chili verde fries. These fries are packed with grilled steak and covered in spicy verde sauce with kicks of jalapeno and lime. Try them first only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last.
At Ingles, we are proud to introduce our all-new curbside service. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app to order, and our friendly staff will bring your groceries right to your car and have you ready to go in no time. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling?
Because I love football.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NFL is investigating an Indianapolis Colts player for possible violations of the league's gambling policy. The news follows a report by SportsHandle.com, which cited an investigation into a Colts player's pervasive betting, including wagers placed on his own team. The player not named in the report. In April, the NFL suspended 5 players for gambling policy violations. Nuggets looking to regroup after the Game 2 loss in the NBA Finals to the Heat. Denver last night, lack of discipline, poor defensive effort in the fourth quarter, wasted a 41-point performance from Nikola Jokic. Nuggets Heat tied 1-1 with the Finals on to Miami for Game 3 Wednesday. ESPN NBA analyst Kirk Goldsberry.
The Nuggets need more from Michael Porter Jr. They need more from Jamal Murray. And if they lose this series, ultimately it's going to be a letdown. From players not named Nikola Jokic. I think he's been fantastic in almost every playoff game.
Kirk Goldsberry on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Number 1 seed Oklahoma beat number 9 Stanford 4-2, advanced to the Women's College World Series Finals. The Sooners take on either Florida State or Tennessee for the national championship.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Green, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. Always seen live in the Ingles studio on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link in the middle of the page. Once you're through to YouTube, click the subscribe button so you can join us in the chat. You can also join the House of Reprehensibles, show your support for the program here. And don't forget, you can still get in on the Ultimate Draft Weekend Contest. The early bird special has passed, though, correct?
It has.
All right, so we're not extending that again.
Nope. And we'll be giving out more details of that as the weeks go on. And we will be debuting fantasy football content later this week.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. So, you want to get in on the Ultimate Draft Weekend Contest. The link to all of the tiers to get in on the contest are in the description of the YouTube video, also posted on our social medias. We have Intern Jake in here today. It's the first, I guess it's his debut as an official member of the Sportsocracy broadcasting squad here.
And he's going to have a very large role in the show going forward. Some new segments. If you're big on the TikTok, I don't know how to use that. Tank obviously doesn't. So Jake will be getting some of our things onto the TikTok and Instagram and my face and all those other things.
Because here's the thing, I'm not great at technology. Jeremy is very good at the technology, but he is but one man, and so
correct. And I have neither the time or the energy to learn anything new.
Right. So Jake's going to help us out there, and it's we wanted to do just kind of a get to know you segment here with Jake. And so with the age difference between the three of us, I mean, I'm much older than Jeremy. I mean, it's not in years.
No, you've only got me by like
mentality.
5 years, but in mentality, you're actually older than my grandfather. So what we thought was a great way to introduce Jake to our listeners is a little get to know you daily draft, because that is when Jake is in here with us. This is how the daily draft will go. Instead of 6 rounds of 2, now we'll have 4 rounds of 3, and it changes all of the strategy of this. It makes it a lot more fun. So we thought music would be a great way to go.
And since we're on the Mount Rushmore kick here with the NFL's teams, we will continue. By the way, the AFC North Mount Rushmore is coming up after the daily draft here. But we're going to go Mount Rushmore style in music.
And I feel like Jake is the new guy, so he should have the first pick.
Oh, okay.
Then we'll go Jake, Tank, myself, and then we'll reverse just like a fantasy football draft. Me, Tank, Jake.
Meanwhile,
and we'll do that.
Meanwhile,
again.
get your Mount Rushmores of music into the chat, and we will highlight those throughout this process as well. All right, intern Jake, you are but a wee child.
A wee child.
Ripe old age of what?
20.
He just had his first legal drink in Ireland.
He told me earlier today that
this was the highlight of my day.
He was born in 2002, and I was 2 years removed from graduating high school at that point.
So Tank had actually just had his first illegal beer when you were born.
No, I'm nervous for this segment because you guys have been hyping me up so much, and as soon as the listeners find out about my list, they could lose a little respect.
Well, you've got the number one pick here, so there are some great all-timer musical acts, and you have your choice of any of them.
I have my choice of any of them, but I'm going to stick with my gut here. I cannot wait to hear the backlash on this.
Oh, I know exactly what he's getting ready to do.
Coming out of left field, number one pick, I'm going to go with BTS, the K-pop band.
Uh-huh.
I have no idea.
Just right out the gate.
So this is a great learning experience, because we should tell Jake this part of the strategy of this is, all right, so I don't actually know what that is. You said it to me earlier.
All right, now let me talk about BTS here. So, yeah, not a lot of people may know who they are, but they are one of the most popular bands, not in the country, but in the world.
He actually told me this earlier, and they do get a lot of clicks. We could learn something from them on how to get people to click on our things on YouTube.
Literally, and when you look at their YouTube and you look at their music videos, first one that comes up, 1.7 billion. Second one that comes up, 883 million, 1.5 billion, 1.3 billion. I mean, these guys broke the record for their Butter music video in the first hour of most viewed YouTube video in the first day.
Wow.
It is the most viewed YouTube channel on the planet. Now, I will also say that what would you say it was K-pop?
K-pop, yes, sir.
I don't know what that means.
It's like Korean pop.
Korean
music.
pop.
I thought that was what I made with my coffee. I thought that was a K-pop. I thought I had to put in a K-pop to make my...
You do.
I listened to maybe 30 seconds of this, and my response was the same as Frankie Cleary's of, what the obscenity is that? I don't know what that is. And so there's that.
Right. I have no frame of reference for BTS. I did see them perform once because we were watching the ball drop on New Year's Eve, and I think they did a spot on there. And that song wasn't bad. I get it. I mean, it's a Korean knockoff of NSYNC, but okay.
I think the biggest thing about them is the spreading of positivity, and that's what I really love about this group. Like, John Cena loves BTS. It's just the positivity about loving yourself and loving others. That's what I love about it.
And see, and that is actually the purpose of this exercise, because what you just learned is that Jake is a power of positivity guy, while Jeremy runs on a steady diet of nicotine, protein, alcohol, and anger.
I like it.
Mr. Spencer, that means it's your turn.
Well, I mean, you don't really have to guess too many times to know who's going to be number one on my Mount Rushmore of music.
It's going to be stupid.
I think it's the greatest band that ever existed. And
Creed. I knew I wasn't going to get Creed.
No, it's the Beatles.
Oh, God.
Of course it is.
Yeah, the Yellow Submarine. That's another power of positivity. Yeah, I'm good.
It's the most successful band in the history of time.
But because they were popular when a time you had 4 channels. It was, hey, you could listen to the Beatles or silence. And that was, I don't think they would have necessarily been that popular in 2020.
Yeah, no, not even kind of true. The Beatles,
no, what I just said is totally true. You grew up in that, because I think you were born in like 1947. So, and you remember when you had to get up to change the channel on the television.
I'll stop you when you're wrong.
So you said, what was it? You said that the BTS thing was like a NSYNC knockoff?
Yeah.
I would put NSYNC ahead of the Beatles. And I'm not making that up. I mean what I am saying when I say that.
We know you mean what you say, but that doesn't make it smart. That makes it, again, one of the dumbest things you've ever said.
So you have taken none of my top 5 up until this point. And, you know, I also feel like this is going to kind of tell you a lot about me. I got back-to-back picks here, so I'll just go ahead and say them both. Nas and Eminem. And it wasn't really all that close for me. I considered a couple more legacy acts. Then I heard what both of you did, and I went, I'm going to get my 1, 2, 3, and 4 of all time. Mm-hmm. And my 4 is a name that might shock you. It's not Creed. Okay, Creed just barely missed the list. I'll take the 2 greatest rappers of all time. Not close. 1, 2, head and shoulders above the rest. And the reason I do that is, all right, first of all, I hate virtually every mainstream version of music there's ever been. So I pulled up a list. Greatest artists of all time.
Mm-hmm.
The top row was Elvis Presley, Bob Dylan, Michael Jackson. I don't mind Elvis. It just doesn't do much for me. Bob Dylan is genuinely awful. And I considered Michael Jackson, but I went, you know what? I don't have to, because I know neither one of you are going to take it. So I might take it on the backside just to pad my list.
Interesting.
Then you get into Madonna. Oh, Madonna wouldn't be in my top 5. She wouldn't be on the census of the greatest artists of all time. We're counting them all. I still left Madonna off.
If there were a woman making this list, I feel like Madonna would be on it.
Oh, no, I would have Whitney Houston. In the message, repeat the line. Not close. Madonna, also grossly overrated. Grossly overrated. So, yeah, I have the top 2 lyricists of all time, and I feel like I can walk away feeling as though I have represented myself fine today.
You have represented yourself fine with Nas, whoever that is, and Eminem. I do know that name. I do know that guy.
Eminem's fantastic. Fantastic.
Okay, so back to me for another Mount Rushmore selection here, and you know, I gotta go next decade. Oh God. The next decade of British rock, it has got to be a Led Zeppelin. I can't have a Mount Rushmore without Led Zeppelin on it. I mean, if I had to, and here's the thing, like, whose face are you putting up there? That's tough for me. Like, on the first one, are you putting John or is it Paul? You can have a hell of a debate over that. This one, Robert Plant or Jimmy Page? I feel like you got to go Jimmy. I feel like it's got to be Jimmy and John.
I would agree. I mean, Led Zeppelin I at least get. That's not who I thought you were going to say.
I'm curious who you thought I was going to say.
Something stupid. Kiss, the Rolling Stones. The lyrical assault on my ear holes. Yeah, I actually don't mind Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin's amazing. It's one of those bands that I could just put on any album and just listen to it front to back.
I get it. I don't love it, but I get it.
All right.
We have one pick for Jake before we have to take a break, and then he will pick up with his next pick after the commercial break.
All right, Jake, to show us just how old we are.
Oh, if he says Taylor Swift right here, I reserve the right to start drinking actively during the show.
Definitely not there. I'm talking about one of the biggest Toronto Raptor fans out there.
Oh.
The man from the six.
We're going to fight.
The one.
Go, Jake.
The only Drake.
Oh, my. Okay, hold on. I got to take this ear. I got to take this can off because I have blood coming out.
Set off an alarm.
I think Jake just went full goblin mode because he's about to FAFO.
Oh. So, okay. I need you to explain that.
Okay, well, first off, when you listen to music nowadays, Drake is on every single station.
Maybe not the country station. I actually think that's why I hate him so much.
Yeah.
And all of it is an assault on my ear holes.
And everybody wants to feature with Drake. He has so many features, and it's just a work of art. I love Drake. I can sing so many Drake songs, and honestly, I think my girlfriend's tired of how many Drake songs I play in the car. But you can't deny that he's definitely one of the most influential artists of the past decade. I mean, he was a Degrassi star, and now he is a pop star.
I actually thought I was getting ready to teach him that he was on Degrassi.
Yeah.
So I swung and a miss there. You knew that and still took him there. So for me, he started on Degrassi. I must admit that is a negative for me, not a positive. I can't with Drake get past the fact he is the great value Walmart version of Lil Wayne to save my life. Hey, I just can't do it. You literally sound like you're doing a Lil Wayne imitation most of the time, and he is infinitely better. Jake did not know this beforehand. My despise of Drake is on par with Taylor Swift. Like they are neck and neck with each other of how are you famous? And I think Drake might even be a little further from me because somehow I hear so many of his songs that I learn the words and then they get stuck in my head and it makes me angry. What was that? What was it? The worst one of all? Hotline Bling.
Oh, it's a great song.
Oh my God! If there was a doctor in Asheville that could perform a procedure where they poured like bleach in my ear or something, and I completely forgot that song ever existed, I would take every dollar on me right now and just go, please do it. Just do it right now. You don't have to put me asleep. Frankly, if it involved a hammer, I'd still let you do it. Just take that. Just do it. I need the song to be eradicated from me.
Forever. It is the Sportsocracy. We're doing Mount Rushmores of music just to show the drastic differences between the tastes of the Sportsocracy crew. Here we got intern Jake making his debut on the program so far. His Mount Rushmore is BTS, the K-pop band, and Drake, who is the most hated rapper in this room.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Especially with me, the rap guy.
Right. I'm out of this. I have no opinion. Like it's all the same to me. Jeremy goes Nas.
Yep, and Tank just showed why he is officially the 90-year-old man of the group.
Jeremy goes Nas and Eminem, and then I got the Beatles and Led Zeppelin. I feel really good about this. It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 westbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. Traffic volume stop and go. Future 26 eastbound stop and go between Broadway Street and 240. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. An accident on New Leicester Highway westbound near Old County Home Road. Smoky Park Highway southbound stop and go between the Inca area and Sand Hill Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Ricardo, quote, "This is one of the greatest inventions ever. I know this may sound like I'm exaggerating, but this sucker is amazing. The first time I did it, I couldn't believe what came out of my sinuses. I could breathe with ease. My wife just bought one too. Thank you for this product," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Fellas, stop treating your groin like junk. Introducing the Gillette Intimate Pubic Hair Trimmer, a gentle and easy shave from America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. Respect your pubic region with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace. Back in the Sportsocracy, we're talking Mount Rushmores today. We'll get to the rest of the AFC North Mount Rushmores in just a few. But we got to finish today's daily draft. We're going Mount Rushmore style. We've brought Intern Jake in here to make his debut with the Sportsocracy, so we thought this was a great opportunity for everybody just to kind of get to know him, and his selection so far for Mount Rushmore of music tells us all we need to know about the age gap between Jeremy, well, myself at the oldest point, Jeremy, and then 20-year-old Intern Jake.
What's funny is I am 16 years older than Jake. I'm 4 years younger than you, and yet somehow I am exponentially closer to his age than I am to yours.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not even close. Like, we could hang out. We could go to, like, concerts. Now, it wouldn't be Drake. I'm hoping that you're going to throw one in here that I go, that one I can
That
do.
one.
But Tank, yeah, my favorites are Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and sorry, I fell asleep. Much like I would if I was listening to their music. And now I just have to figure out if I'm going to throw Creed in here on the backside because I kind of want to. I'm not going to. But
I mean, I don't know why you would. Because they shouldn't be considered in the discussion for best anything.
Because they're awesome?
Yeah. And not even the best rock band of the 1990s.
Oh, that's not true. That's 100% Creed. They were the voice of a generation.
Stop it.
So we have gone the snake version here, and it is Intern Jake's turn again. Up on the turn, as he's already selected BTS as his number 1. His number 2 was Drake. Who's number 3?
Well, I'm receiving a lot of backlash in the comment section, so I feel like I have to redeem myself.
Get used to
that.
Yeah.
I was...
Trust me, you get used to it every time. Somebody said that Tank looked like a nursing home cafeteria, or he dressed like a nursing home cafeteria worker earlier.
Well,
which, by the way, was a great line and almost led to me spitting coffee on my keyboard. It came that close.
I was thinking about 2 artists here, but I think one I'm just leaning. And he's famous for asking one question. Annie, are you okay?
No!
I'm going to go with the king of pop, Michael Jackson out of Gary, Indiana. I mean, come on, he's the king of pop for a reason. Started with Jackson 5.
Yeah.
And then great songs like Thriller, Beat It, obviously Smooth Criminal.
Mm-hmm.
So he took his first pick was a band that I thought was a serial killer from the 70s. And he is still beating you just based off that Michael Jackson pick. That's the first time I've gone, oh, I might have actually taken that one.
I was gonna. You said I didn't have to worry about Michael Jackson. Why would you think that? Why would you think you wouldn't have to worry about one of the most successful acts of all time?
Oh, because I knew he would get a shot at it before. Because I knew you weren't taking it next.
Oh, yeah. That's true. I was going to take it with this one.
And now you don't get
now
to.
I can't do that.
Oh, and now he's going to shade off to. I can't wait to hear what this is.
Well, I mean, it's the you can't have a Mount Rushmore without the greatest guitarist of all time. It's Jimi Hendrix. It's the Jimi Hendrix experience, ladies and gentlemen. While it may not have lasted long, much like the Beatles, I mean, there's not a guitar player alive that doesn't trace it back to Jimi Hendrix was one of the first loves of their life. He played like no one else did and inspired an entire generation to try to destroy the Star-Spangled Banner.
Which no one ever will like he did.
I was going to say, no one has done it like Jimmy did.
Well, this went much the way I thought it would, because now I'm just going to make my Mount Rushmore of hip-hop, because I'm going to go Biggie Tupac, and I'm going to drop the mic and go, Jeremy has done his due diligence. I only had one left in my top 5, and it does not fit with the musical stylings of the first 4.
So good for you, going all rappers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. That's I really, any musically before 1990-something, I'm good. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't understand why they weren't popular.
Mm-hmm.
I get why Elvis was popular in, 1972. I don't really understand why he's super popular in 2023.
2 years before he died, but okay.
Well, I mean, he was popular before he died. He wasn't really popular. Whatever.
You said that like that was the height of his career.
Well, I mean, he was only
the 1950s was when Elvis first came on the scene.
Well, I mean, he was 42 when he died, so it wasn't really a real wide range in there. I think it all kind of was applicable. But I mean, there's certain acts I just don't get.
Yeah.
Like Bob Dylan, never understood it.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Springsteen, don't get it in the least. I would rather listen to cats fighting. Prince, I get. That one I 100% get. And I'm just going down the list here. If Mariah Carey, stop. Just stop that. Yeah, she's in the top 20 of a list that was done by a living, breathing human.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who that was. They should stop that.
Of best?
Yes.
Not for me, but
yeah. I cornered my own market. That's about the time that music really became music for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my top 4 of all time. So let's go.
Good for you. Good for you. Rap music's not even on my Mount Rushmore of music genres. So
you're just doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
And again, I don't see how you went through 4 rappers and did not put Busta Rhymes on there. It's just Still the greatest of all time.
I hate the things you say. I hate when you say them, and I hate how you say them.
Wrapping up my Mount Rushmore, man. There's so many other great bands you could put on here, but I'm gonna have to go with Metallica. They are the godfathers of hard rock heavy metal.
I saw Metallica live.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't even the best band in their own set.
Oh my gosh.
They were fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now this got a little age on them, so this wasn't really in like the heyday. But I remember.
Was this the 17th or the 18th time that James Hetfield came out of rehab?
Oh, I mean, this was 10 years ago. They were fine.
Mm-hmm.
I was really disappointed.
I gotta know, who was it?
Godsmack.
Oh, Godsmack.
Oh, and they were excellent live. You could tell they spent all their money on, hey, we're going to make this stage show look awesome. And I was the only person in the building that didn't do recreational crimes. So I was like, this is still really cool. And I'm looking around and everybody else looks like a dog staring at the answering machine. Like, whoa!
When the drum sets start going around the stage, that's pretty awesome.
And they did a lot of that. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
But they were fine. That is the one pick of yours that I go, I get it. Well, that one and Led Zeppelin.
Yep. All right. Jake?
Final pick here, Intern Jake.
Well, here we go. We talked about them earlier in the show. They're famous for using one of the words that I brought up, bougie. Bad and bougie. I'm talking about the Migos, coming from Georgia.
Seeing this really detailed the different perspectives that you're going to get on this show. Because outside of one of those, they're all active right now. I can respect that.
Yeah. We all have our different tastes, and that's what this show is all about. Having different opinions, being able to look at each other and go, you guys are morons. And we're all still friends, and we carry on. It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and coming up next, we will, of course, have your most important message of the day, and then it will be on to the Mount Rushmores for the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Splash and dash summertime thunderstorms moving from north to south for the top of the work week. Our low tonight, 57 in the valley. Sunshine Tuesday, high of 82 degrees and near 80 degrees on Wednesday. Just an isolated storm. Rain chances less than about 30% here for the top of the work week. Less of a thunderstorm chance into the weekend ahead with temperatures up into the 80s. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound stop and go between Tunnel Road and Exit 8. Future 26 eastbound stop and go between Broadway Street and 240. 26 eastbound slowing between the French Broad River and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 westbound is stop and go between Hendersonville Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. New Leicester Highway westbound near Old County Home Road, an accident reported. Smoky Park Highway southbound south of Inca, traffic is slow. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road from Sand Hill Road to Pond Road, delays. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound stop and go in the Biltmore Forest area. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Shop savings on all your outdoor essentials now at Lowe's. Buy a Craftsman V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for just $99. Get a Select Bear tool free. Lowe's knows lawn care. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 6/7. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
DQ presents how to get the most from your next DQ treat run. Step 1, grab the new Oreo Brookie Blizzard. Step 2, dig in. That's it. Because this triple-decker treat has brownie and cookie brookie pieces, plus Oreo pieces. Oh, that's a mouthful of DQ goodness in every red spoonful. Guess it's time for a treat run. Because the Oreo Brookie Blizzard is here for a limited time, only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
See Guns N' Roses in the U.S. city of your choice and get the special Paradise City Lounge VIP package. For a chance to win, just open the free iHeartRadio app and listen to Guns N' Roses Radio, and you'll be automatically in it. For info and tickets on GNR's tour, go to LiveNation.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. It's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
And let's go to the bustling metropolis of Chubbuck, Idaho. Yeah, I'd never heard of it either. But apparently, the panhandlers in Chubbuck, Idaho are pretty territorial. Or at least this couple, very territorial. So police investigating, and actually they have charged this couple with crimes because victims reporting that after they were panhandling in Chubbuck, they got into the car to leave, and a man claiming that this was his territory to panhandle held them up while in their car. So there's a carjacking charge here. The weapon of choice, though, a Sharpie. Not a Sharpie with the lid off, but with the lid on. So the guy comes up to the driver's side window, pokes the Sharpie into the guy's throat, and says, "Give me all your money," basically. They proceeded, he and his female partner proceeded to rob the other couple. Woman, while he's holding the Sharpie to the guy's neck, demanding all the money, the woman goes to the other side of the car and robs the female in the passenger seat. Robs her of assorted change, according to the police report, and didn't take the purse, but took the ID out of the purse, and also stole a cell phone. Now, when they got away, they caught up to him, they found the phone. The guy did still have possession of the Sharpie. And they say, I'm not sure how much change they got away with, but it was about 75 cents.
That doesn't feel like it was enough to merit.
No. First off, weapon of choice in this, I feel like dude that tried to sell me the rock at the gas station.
I was going to ask if he asked if they would like to buy this rock.
Would you like, right.
Because
but the rock is a much better weapon to use,
no
right?
doubt. And they could have bought it for the 75 cents that they got away with.
Exactly. And now, with all the charges that they're facing because of this, could face life in prison for stealing 75 cents and carjacking somebody with a Sharpie.
That is the definition of stupid criminal.
Indeed.
As is my story. It's about one Jeffrey David Salazar. He's 54 years old. He's an employee at a Sonic drive-in restaurant in Espanola, New Mexico. Well, Mr. Salazar did crimes. He later admitted to police after this incident that he had purchased a bag of cocaine from someone in the parking lot of his working establishment. Here's how this went. Woman goes to Sonic, gets a coney, which is that's the foot-long hot dog. She takes it to her residence or her workplace or wherever she decided to enjoy her coney. They are quite delectable. She bit into it, and she bit into a plastic bag that had a white powdery substance in it. Of course, being someone that doesn't do crime, she immediately called the Espanola Police Department and said, someone has put crimes in my lunch. They did a field test of it, realized that it was cocaine. So they went back to the Sonic Drive-In restaurant and said, could we possibly see the tapes from inside your kitchen? Of course, being law-abiding citizens that the franchisees of a Sonic Drive-In, of course, are, they turned over the videos, and what they found on this video was Mr. Salazar doing what appeared to be a handoff with a female coworker. He then proceeds to make this customer's coney. As soon as it goes out the window, he starts frantically looking around his workspace as though he has lost something, and he had. It was the cocaine that he had accidentally dropped into the hot dog. Okay, first of all, don't do crimes. Secondly, don't do crimes at work. Third, don't do crimes around people's food. Can you not wait until this person gets their delicious hot dog to do your nefarious actions, you jackwagon?
He's just trying to get repeat customers. That's all that is.
I'm just like, how does that conversation come up? Where you're, as you do, you pull out the bun, you throw the hot dog in it, throw in a little ketchup, a little mustard, and then here comes, we'll call her Betty. I don't know, the name's not said. Hey, you want to do crimes? Let's do crimes. Shoot, where'd my crimes go? Uh-oh. Bill, you're going to be mad. I did a thing, and it wasn't a good thing. So that last order was the most expensive hot dog in the history of North America because I put a very expensive bag of crimes in it.
I was going to say, and it probably is going to cost him the business.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, trust me, my wife has explained this to me. She's in the insurance business. You got a lot of insurances that protect you from things like this. However, it is going to cost Mr. Salazar, and if I had a wager, I would say it's going to cost him somewhere between 5 to 10 years in a federal correctional facility.
Don't do crimes, ladies and gentlemen. Mount Rushmores of each and every NFL team continue here in the Sportsocracy. Today's Mount Rushmore segment is the AFC North. We had fun in the 4 o'clock hour, if you missed it, going through the many variations that you could have of the Mount Rushmores for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. Now let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. Because it's difficult in the history of a franchise, to me, that has been pretty terrible.
Not great.
To come up with the definitive faces of the franchise. The number one.
Anthony Munoz, not close.
Thank you. He was number one on my list as well.
Anthony Munoz didn't think about it for 5 seconds. 2, I thought about quite a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Not really because I didn't know the 4 that were going to make it, but because I didn't know what order to put them in. Who is your 2?
AJ Green.
Not even on my list.
What?
Not even on my list.
Seriously?
Seriously, not even on my list.
Wow. I can't wait to hear who you got.
Well, Ken Anderson was my 2. He's the best quarterback in the history of the franchise.
Is he, though?
Put a pin
Is he, though?
Put a pin in that for a minute. We'll come back to it momentarily.
Mm-hmm.
Chad Ochocinco was my 3.
He's my 3 as well.
Joe Burrow was my 4.
He is my 4 as well.
And it was razor thin with Boomer Esiason.
But Boomer Esiason. Okay.
No, and look, I get Boomer.
He deserves to be in the conversation, no doubt.
And maybe, I could be getting in front of this of, this is Mount Rushmore, so this involves a lot of rock work, and I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that face is going to be on the end of this in a year, 2 years. So why not just get ahead of it this step and go ahead and do it now?
100%. He's already taking you to a Super Bowl.
I can't believe you had AJ Green in this.
Absolutely. He's the best wide receiver in franchise history.
No, Chad Ochocinco is the best receiver in franchise history. It's not really all that close.
Is he, though?
A.J. Green was a whole lot of empty calories on a whole lot of teams that were a whole lot of bad. I mean, I'll be honest with you, he wasn't my second receiver. I had Chris Collinsworth ahead of him.
Oh, stop that. Stop.
Was A.J. Green ever the best receiver in the NFL?
No.
Chad Johnson was.
Absolutely.
And if he wasn't, he was 2. And it was not really all that debatable.
I get it.
I mean,
That's
A.J.
why
Green
he was on my list.
A.J. Green would probably be my 4. I think he'd probably be my 4th receiver. He's not making his list for me. That's not even close.
Wow.
I'll be 100% honest with you. I pulled 6 lists of the greatest Bengals of all time. I never saw A.J. Green's name, not one time.
And they're doing it wrong.
See, I think you're being
I'm
biased.
Not. I'm not. He's
a Georgia guy.
This is the dude that set the record in the NFL for the most 1,000-yard seasons in a row to start out a career. Now, that has since been eclipsed, but
and it also was in an era that meant way less.
Nobody did it as well as A.J. Green.
Yeah, I can't have 2 receivers on this list.
I can because you don't have anything else for me.
So just no love for Ken Anderson whatsoever.
I got none.
I feel like that's just a horrid error in judgment.
I mean, because to me it goes Joe Burrow, Boomer Esiason, then Ken Anderson.
I'm not real sure. You're going to have to explain that to me. First of all, Boomer didn't do it for long enough. He was there for a nice little period.
Mm-hmm.
He left, and he ended there. Mm-hmm. But he spent 7 years elsewhere. And that was the reason that I called him for Burrow. Burrow's been the best quarterback in this franchise's history. Yep. He's just only done it for a few years.
Agreed.
I'm waiting for one of the Bengals fans, because we have a good number of those, to go, the Ken Anderson disrespect is very real.
Absolutely. I'm not hiding it.
I love that Tank justifies old guys until it's one that he has no respect for, and then he just poops right on them.
Not on my list. Sorry.
All right, so we're going to have to settle this somehow, because I ain't agreeing to a list that's got A.J. Green on it. It's just it can't happen.
That's fine.
All right, so the ones we agree on. So the ones we agree on currently are Anthony Munoz.
Yes.
Chad Ochocinco. Mm-hmm. Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Did you consider anybody else?
No.
So you didn't have Corey Dillon in there at all?
Not really.
He was at least on the list for me. Then I feel like you almost have to go back to Paul Brown.
Yeah.
And that's probably the 4. He's so angry right now that I'm dismissing A.J. Green to such a...
I'm not. This is a terrible franchise. And I don't think... I mean... Look, I wasn't a grown boy during the Ken Anderson years to go. Was he one of the best quarterbacks ever in the NFL? No,
I wasn't alive for it, so I can certainly. He's also the only MVP in team history. He's the only one they've ever had, so it's hard for me to leave him off the list. But you're as dug in on Ken Anderson as I am on A.J. Green.
I don't care one way or the other. I mean, you don't want A.J. Green on there? That's fine. We could agree on 3, and I'll give you whichever one you want. You can have Paul Brown if you want.
I don't want
Doesn't
Paul
do
Brown.
anything for me. Ken Anderson, same thing.
Well, Paul Brown's just so entrenched with the franchise. And sadly enough, I think the reason I can agree to him at 4.
I was going to say, is that a good thing? Do you look at the history of this? Right. You look at the history of this organization and go, Paul Brown's involvement in this organization, it really, he deserves to be. It's just, think about the guys that we put on Mount Rushmores. Bill Belichick and Art Rooney. Paul Brown really belong in that category?
I mean, I get it.
You're right. Just because you were the guy doesn't mean it was good.
Then the more I'm looking at A.J. Brown, the less I like it. He was hurt a lot.
You mean A.J. Green?
What'd I say?
You said A.J. Brown.
Oh, I was talking about an actually good receiver. Look at that Freudian slip.
He's just trying. He's just trying.
No, I can't wrap my brain around that. I can't have a guy that was legitimately never a top 5 receiver in the NFL. I don't think he had 1 year where he was a top.
Really?
I mean, think about guys that played in his era. Was he better than Calvin Johnson? Not for 1 second.
No.
Mark Bradley said, just agree that it should be Vontaze Burfict.
There you go.
Oh, I think Tank would put Vontaze Burfict on here before Ken Anderson.
Probably.
Oh, okay. This one's made my head hurt. This one's officially made my head hurt.
I'd put Peter Warwick on there before.
Hey, there will be no Peter Warwick slander on this show. Secondly, that doesn't make
TJ Hoshimazode.
Oh, my Lord.
Put him on there before Ken Anderson.
God, Bengals fans, you got me for a full year. Get him. You, Ken Anderson, him.
Joe Mixon.
Oh, my God.
100%.
I think Evan Doyle has just gone away. I think he's listened to everything you said and gone, I have to put my device down or I'm going to say bad words. All right, so we're agreeing. Munoz,
yep.
Burrow,
yep.
Ocho Cinco,
yep.
Paul Brown.
Sure.
Oh. Sorry, Ken Anderson.
Yes, you can do. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We'll do the Cleveland Browns next. That one should be easier, maybe.
Should be easier, I would think.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go. 240 westbound eastbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. 26 westbound is stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slow in pockets between the French Broad River and Airport Road. Approaching Airport Road, traffic is very busy. Hendersonville Road, north and southbound, approaching Rock Hill Road. Traffic is crawling due to an accident. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Colonel Seasons, available at Harris Teeter.
Colonel Seasons adds interesting to popcorn and golf.
Morgan approaches with a bowl of popcorn. He's going for the jalapeno cheddar? I've only seen white cheddar on a course like this. Nifty rascal.
Colonel Seasons.
Are you ready? You ready? Are y'all ready to have a good time? How hard are you ready?
Ready to do this.
Get ready. Our iHeartRadio Music Festival is back.
This festival is insane to bring all these different types of music together.
Can you believe all the artists performing?
The best fans in the world with the biggest stars from all walks of music under one roof.
Be here as our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival lineup is revealed. Tomorrow at 8 a.m.
DQ presents how to get the most from your next DQ treat run. Step 1, grab the new Oreo Brookie Blizzard. Step 2, dig in. That's it, because this triple-decker treat has brownie and cookie brookie pieces, plus Oreo pieces. Oh, that's a mouthful of DQ goodness in every red spoonful. Guess it's time for a treat run, because the Oreo Brookie Blizzard is here for a limited time, only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What's worse than calling your groin your junk? Treating it like junk. Respect your pubic region with Gillette Intimate. Gentle and easy pubic hair care from America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. Gillette, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. This has been a fun exercise doing the Mount Rushmores here. And we got to get to the last team in the AFC North. It is the Cleveland Browns. Number one's real easy. Jim Brown. From there, I think you could go in a couple of different directions, but I think you got to go with Otto Graham. Then Ozzie Newsome. And my 4 was Joe Thomas.
We have absolutely no disagreement. We have the exact same 4.
Because I just don't know who else you put in there.
And I'm not gonna lie, I debated Warfield and Thomas for a long time. The tiebreaker was it's hard for me to look at a franchise that's been in existence this long, and every player I put on your Mount Rushmore hasn't played in 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, I can't sign off on that. And Joe Thomas is the only one. I physically could not come up with another player since they were brought back in was it 2000? I think it's 2000 Cleveland came back. I couldn't find another player to put on the list. Could you?
No.
Did you even think about Myles Garrett?
I did.
I wrote the name down.
I wrote him down to start out with, and then I went, oh, wait, no. Otto Graham needs to be on this.
Well, the first 3 for me were no doubters. I did Cleveland's in probably 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got down to the last little debate between Paul Warfield and Joe Thomas. And I can't say that Joe Thomas was a better player. He was a no doubt first ballot Hall of Famer. He was the face of your franchise since you were restored back into the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I gave it a recency tiebreak, but then I didn't really think about anybody else.
No. Cleveland's not a place dudes hang around. And that's the main problem. Like at least with Cincinnati, like with me and AJ. I mean, at least AJ, he was there for almost a decade. I don't really have that with any Cleveland Browns.
No.
Other than Joe Thomas.
No,
it's not a place that you stick. You go there and you suck so much that you're like, I got to get out of here.
At Sports Tank ESPN. I agree. The golden years of Cleveland were 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just going to have some older guys on that list. What does Myles Garrett have to do to for me, he could only pass Joe Thomas. I don't think he could physically pass any of the other 3.
No, and
because I do think he's the most physically talented pass rusher in the NFL and has been for 3 years.
I agree.
If you do that for 4 more years, is that enough?
I would say it would only take 3 more.
Solely because Joe Thomas is an offensive tackle?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's hard. Outside of guys like Anthony Munoz. And look, I do think Joe Thomas is in that discussion. It's just so much different of a – do you look at that differently? I look at Anthony Munoz differently than I do Joe Thomas, and I would say they're right on top of each other in historical ranks.
Look at them differently how?
Because in the last 20 years, I don't necessarily think there's an offensive tackle that has been what Munoz was, where you couldn't do anything with him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, I'll just rush on the other side. Everybody talks about the sack numbers and things like that. Okay, I'll just send the blitz on the other side. Defenses are so much more complex now than back in the 80s and certainly back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Right.
But You got no agreement. You got no disagreement out of it from me here.
All right. Any that were mentioned in the chat there, Intern Jake?
Nobody really mentioned in the chat, but I was going to ask you guys a question about if Nick Chubb continues to produce like he's been producing.
He's going to have to last longer than running backs do now. To get past Joe Thomas, he'd probably have to do it until he was 33 years old.
Right.
And there's no shot of that.
You got to lead the league for 3 or 4 more years.
I'm not going to say it's impossible. I will say it's incredibly improbable. But he and Myles Garrett are the only two that are active that could even sniff it to me.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The debut of Intern Jake, a success.
Rousing success, and we have many new elements with Intern Jake that we will be debuting over the coming days, weeks, and months.
And we will be back with you tomorrow right here on ESPN Asheville at 3.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Splash and dash summertime thunderstorms moving from north to south for the top of the work week. Our low tonight, 57 in the valley. Sunshine Tuesday, high of 82 degrees and near 80 degrees on Wednesday. Just an isolated storm. Rain chances less than about 30% here for the top of the work week. Less of a thunderstorm chance into the weekend ahead with temperatures up into the 80s. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving east on go 26 westbound west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway, 26 eastbound stop and go near the French Broad River. Hendersonville Road north and southbound approaching Rock Hill Road. Traffic is stopped due to an accident. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is stop and go approaching the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Peel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome at the end of your first year. They automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right. Everything you've earned, doubled. The cash back from trips, restaurants, all doubled. Seriously, though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.